So now we're live on YouTube. All right, I did that. Yeah, I need chat's help today. My Chrome locked me out of all of my chat things. The Social Stream Ninja no longer works. Hold on, let me go mute myself on my own damn computer over here. Stop talking to me. There we go. Okay. All right. So let me open up chat so that I can see it. See YouTube chat, which is inactive, but I'll open up Twitch chat here. Yeah, there's YouTube. I can close that one. There's Twitch chat. Okay, so nobody's talking on Twitch chat. Yeah, Chrome locked me out of the use of banned extensions. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Let's put the start soon up there. Oh my God, my new Stream Deck has so many things. It's so much stuff. Actually, it seems like the smaller Stream Deck might be a better way to go. I mean, I guess I'll just eventually memorize all the locations of the buttons and stuff. So here's the deal. We made all of that progress in making Stream Deck hide things using Node-RED and you know, control of OBS using Node-RED. And the next stream, Chrome disables all of those extensions. And it does not allow me, a developer, to use them. That's great. It's just awesome. I love it. Look at this. So oh, yeah, you know what I should do is hold on, let's go to frame chat and add text. Or no, wait, under construction GIF. And PNG. You never find it. When you do a PNG, I never find one that actually has transparency. All right. Let's see what this one does. Automatically add the link as a source. No. How do streamers do this quickly? There we go. What's going on, Wayne Johnson? Hi, chat's broken right now. Chrome disabled the Social Stream Ninja extension on me. And when I go to turn it back on, where is it? It's in here somewhere. I think it's the first one. Yeah, Social Stream Ninja details. Beep boop bop 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 bop. Beep bop 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 bop. Can't click the button. And I'm on developer mode. I got developer mode enabled up here. Can't do it. Now, I've heard of people taking the extension and moving it onto their desktop and then importing it as their own file, and that would supposedly enable it again. I tried Googling. Hold on, wait for it to dox me. Oh, this is a new one. This is from 4 days ago, so this is relevant. Chrome, flags, extension. So if I do, oh, let's pull that in a new window. Social, well, how do I? Oh, I need to set, so flags temporary. So this. Enabled, and then manifest v2. Don't you love deep settings? The deepiest of deep settings? Huh, that's weird. Okay. The depreciation warning, it's not like going to anything. I don't know, maybe that fixes it. But then they say you can set all these other ones. Chrome flags extension manifest v2. Huh. Oh my God, there's a lot of settings. There's a lot in here. It's, for some reason, it's not like V2. Give me anything that says V2. Allow legacy extension manifest versions. Manifest depreciation, warning, disable, unsupported. Legacy M2. Allow legacy M2 extensions. Enabled. Collaborating. Enables the collaboration feature for enterprise users. I don't need that. RWS. Updated RWS UI. That's not in. We're looking for depreciation warning, depreciation disabled, depreciation unsupported. Allow legacy M2. Legacy. Allow legacy enabled. Okay, I think I got all the settings that are relevant to, because there's a couple in here that I didn't find, but I looked for anything with V2 in it, and these all say V2. Try MV2, but I looked for V2, so V2 should come up with MV2, MV2. Yeah, so we enabled it. Okay, relaunch. That's gonna cause havoc, but I guess I gotta do it if I'm gonna use the Social Stream Blade. All right, relaunch. There goes the music. Everybody's back. Extension manifest V2 depreciation disable stage default. Wait. Displays a warning that affects MV2 when turned off due to disabled. Oh, and I got to relaunch for that too. So let's just hold on. Oh, an unsupported stage. Oh, I see. Once you do that, these show up. Disabled, and then we'll just search V2 again. V2 depreciation warning stage. What is that? Displays a warning that affects MV2 extensions may no longer be supported. Disabled. RWS MV2 allow, okay. Disable the depreciation disabled stage, manifest unsupported stage. All right, relaunch. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're hacking my Chrome so that we can put chat up on screen, which I'm also not allowed to do. It's a very complicated process. Extensions. Show me. Oh, it's taking up all my memory. It's eating all of the memory in the computer. Oh, look, it's on. There we go. Social stream. 3D connection extension. I don't think I really totally need. Yes. Okay, everybody is back. We're all back. Everybody's back. And I am now in violation of errors. What are the errors? Manifest version 2. Oh, it's depreciated and support will be removed. Okay. Eventually, this is going to fall on me like a house made of cards. And I will then need to figure out how to get it all working again. But for now, we roll on. And so I'm able to actually open up YouTube chats. So YouTube, No Bother VOD, let's get that rolling. And we can put YouTube chat, we can pop it out. And perhaps this will work. Nope, still doesn't work. But my big Social Stream Blade does work. I did see the test go into that one. So this one needs to be, oh, it did go in. It did go in. All right. So we can get rid of this stupid under construction. I wanted it to look like an older under construction, like an old GeoCities website, but that didn't really work. We have about like 4 people watching today. Is that about where we are? Yeah, we got like 4 people watching. I have completely sabotaged my numbers over the past couple days, and you can see it laid bare before you by the number of viewers in here. Nobody expected me to go live on a Tuesday because I've been really crappy about getting on. Now that we have a new toilet downstairs and the upstairs bathroom now has cold water once again, we will be able to continue streaming. I have the old shower controls in a bin behind me. So maybe we could even take that apart one day. I'm going to do a cache refresh on chat just in case my vibrant and ever-moving chat decides to do anything. So frame chat, and then I'm going to get rid of under construction because we're not under construction anymore. Hooray! Rain time? What is it raining over there? It is not. It is stormed over here. We got some pretty crazy storms, and I think we're going to get more. I'm not sure, but it's been just muggy and awful outside. So fun times. The window, however, behind me is covered in water. You can't see because it's blown out because of the amount of light that it requires for me to stream. It's is that actually sunlight? My God, I haven't seen the sun in a couple days. But yeah, we I blew up the toilet. I'm gonna blame myself on that one. I'm gonna say I blew up the toilet. Wait, what is this? OBS PowerShell. Oh, this is a. Let's close that. Close that. OBS Raw Generator is a site that I really should remember. I'm gonna do that, just in case I don't remember it. But this is cool because you can make your own WebSocket commands and stuff with this. Very interesting. And then in the near future, if we go back to Node-RED, if we go back to messing with stuff on Node-RED, oh, let me get the music going. Sorry, ADHD. Party People 12, Breakfast of Champions. It's probably going to be a little bit more. Really? SoundCloud has added all kinds of new stuff. So now we haven't. Just mute that until the ad's over. Jeez, I got SoundCloud ads. Chrome updated and now the internet sucks. I have gone to Firefox on my main machine. It's just because of all these extensions that I run. The Social Stream Blade being primary amongst them. I'm still on Chrome. Eventually, I'll probably switch over this computer just because Firefox, albeit intentionally hamstrung by YouTube, it's just, the ads are just getting real bad. And then push comes to shove, I really want to move to Linux. I really want to move away from Windows. Linux has become so common these days that it's much easier. And if we're doing microcontroller stuff, especially, I could just spool up a Windows machine, right? I could have multiple different Windows machines that I can work in, or just command line machines that I can work in that I can use to program stuff. And I can do a lot of there's a lot of Linux support for programming microcontrollers. So I think in general, I can move the whole system here over to Linux, and it won't be phoning home, and it'll work really nicely on old hardware. Yeah, a lot of good things to consider for that. And also I could maybe lock it down a little bit so I don't ruin everything on the system. Be a lot of careful considerations in that direction. One day I'll do that. Right now, everything, my whole stream setup, once you get the complicated weave that is a stream setup running, it sticks for a long, long time. You don't really alter any of it because a lot of things are codependent. And but one of the big things that I need to do, and one of the things I think I'm going to do tomorrow, is move the Focusrite over to the table over there and take it out as my primary sound thing is going to be the mixer. But there's all kinds of other stuff that I got to consider. I'm still thinking if I do a gaming stream, I should be able to move the mixer over and have all those Morning Zoo radio show bits, all the funny bits with the clapping and the cheering and stuff. I want to still have those, and that's kind of the big draw of the mixer. But to get that as the central sound location where everything communicates, and then the Focusrite will be just for Julian and Dave to plug into, so they have the proper plugs. What's up, NanoCat? I'm waiting for SteamOS for the PC. What? Wait, what do you mean? The big picture mode is essentially SteamOS for the PC, but you can do KDE Linux, and that's essentially SteamOS. Linux KDE, and if you have a handheld like the Legion Go that I have, it's fully supported. Pretty much everything is there. You just need to dig a little bit to get some of the little settings and get used to the operation, which I'm still getting used to that. I haven't fully expressed Linux on the, gotten that fully 100% functional on the handheld, but the handheld plays games just fine. So, and then I've been setting up the handheld as a thin client for LAN party gaming. So Steam lets you do that pretty much like inherently. It's super easy to do, to have your home machine broadcast to your handheld. But there's like Sunshine and Moonlight or something like that apparently does it too. You have a Steam Deck. Oh, cool. Yeah, KDE has like a desktop mode too. So, and I'm wondering what else the Legion Go could do. If the Legion Go, I mean, it's got slightly better specs than a Steam Deck, so it's possible that if I do like a working on car stream, right, maybe I could bring the Legion Go upstairs as like a laptop, and that would just run, the OBS of the broadcast and all that stuff. That'd be pretty cool. The other way to do it is what is it? NDE? No, whatever that video over Ethernet protocol is. Doing that and having the downstairs do everything and have my phone broadcast to that. I mean, I would probably have my phone as a broadcast method anyway, but just thinking about it, I'm not going to implement anything like that unless I'm forced to. But boy, howdy, would it be nice to, work on my car, get my car up to snuff. Because currently I'm in dodge police mode. I'm actively dodging police on the road as to not get pulled over with expired inspection stickers. Although it's possible they can't pull you over for that now. I have to look at Pennsylvania law. How's everyone's projects going? Out there riding dirty. I need to apply for antique plates. And until then, I'm going to say, oh, officer, I'm just taking the car out to make sure the gas doesn't turn into vinegar. I can do that once. And then they'll be like, no. But station wagon, an old station wagon is a cloaking device. It's a cloaking device. I could be murdering like prostitutes and speeding and smoking drugs out the window, half hanging out the window and hollering and hooting, and blow by an officer that's with the radar gun up and actually trying to get my speed, and it'll say, dude, it's a station wagon. And he's like, yeah, all right, it's a station wagon, nothing's happening. Like, that's what the little screen will say on the radar gun. It's like, dude. It's like, all right, and the radar gun doesn't even want to look at it because it's a station wagon. What could they possibly be doing? Taking lumber somewhere, or I don't know. It's this typical station wagon. They're gonna go tend their horses. Oh, we need to calibrate the cameras. I forgot about that. So in the setup here, calibrate the arm. That still should work. Yes, I think all the settings still work. Yeah, and then we get this, no trails behind moving objects, and we're crisp and clear. And we are not autofocusing. We're not, wow, my hand looks like it's going to explode. What's my blood pressure? No, that's just because of the lighting. All right, and then the microscope probably is in dire straits. And Burn the Subs doesn't really need it because Burn the Subs doesn't work right now, but I'm going to push the button. Here we go. Why is the, you guys see me broadcasting, right? Pretty sure. We're pretty sure that I'm broadcasting right now. Hold on, I gotta focus this one down. Actually, I have that control on the Steam Deck. I didn't need to go through all those windows. All right, this. No. Yeah, that should be red. That light should be red. I don't think you're broadcasting. Ah, man. Is this a VOD? Am I not live? This is a VOD. This is a pre-recorded. This is all pre-recorded, isn't it? What's wrong with Laser? We need to work on Burn the Subs more, and I have been. I actually printed, now that I've got the clear goop in the goop printer for the safety glasses, because I have a giant nose. I have a giant nose, and we took these safety glasses and we widened out the nose piece for them, which was a lot of, what do you call it? It's not It's not iteration, fuck ups, a lot of fuck ups. I had trouble making it precisely, but we did that, and so I had clear goop in the printer, and I figured while I'm doing that, I might as well spin off some of the old Burn the Subs files in AutoCAD and print it out mostly clear laser shroud. This is the thing that goes around the laser, and water comes in one side, out the other. So this is a water-cooled laser mount. There's not a lot of features to this thing, but I think we're kind of drowning in features with Burn the Subs, so this will help us. This will be watertight. It is a little bit off, though. I may want to try to print it again. I printed it in the printer sideways, and when you have objects with large flat areas in the goop printer, things can tend to kind of like get a little bit inaccurate. For all the accuracy of the goop printer, it does have its foibles. So if you look carefully, this may not affect the operation of the laser, but you can see that this surface is derpy. It sort of leans down a little bit, which might speak to the reliability of this. Like, for instance, I need this surface to seal against the thing so that water is encouraged to go around the loop. It's not that dire of a thing, and if the laser, whatever it is, the heat sink for the laser, the body of the laser diode fits in there, I'll be happy enough. But there is no print bed side. This was printed floating at an angle. So like if the print bed were here, this would be like this. And there were all kinds of little supports that came in, and that's what these little dots are. But I'm not too concerned with the dots. I think this is good enough, and nobody will see it because it'll be facing the board. Presumably, if the laser's off by a little bit, it'll remain off by a little bit, and that we can just use to our advantage. Pretty cool, though. I love this material. This, I think it's Polymaker clear, and it's like, it makes this like frosted glass plastic. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That's why I do actually have black plastic to print in the thing, but I decided to go with the clear just for now. That if I decide to buy the really expensive laser lenses for these, since I'm sitting here in a shop that's, you know, got lasers blasting all day, if I do that, I'll probably print this in black just so that I don't get like exposure to laser light. If it hits my nose, it'll like internally reflect in this nose piece and like kill me. Like, ah, and then I turn into dust. I mean, they don't fit amazingly, right? Actually, these are hugging my face a lot less. What happened? Oh, I just have to like seat them in my... Yeah, it's my view is still a little bit distorted, but if I turn my nose just a little, I do get decent glasses view, but it's not a fashion statement. I just don't have the nose for that. It still looks weird. Still looks weird. But they do fit on my face, so. It would be nice if I could get these to untwist just a little bit, unbend just a little tiny bit, so that I could get good vision out of these, because it only needs to move like that, right? That's all I need, just that. And then the glasses sit properly, and the pupillary distance is correct. Anything, if I were to adjust the prescription for the bend of the glasses, apparently it's kind of a crapshoot. It's, you kind of roll the dice on whether or not you get the pupillary distance to support the glasses being bent a little bit. But maybe I'll just like sit on them or something and just get that little tiny bend. But that means that if I get a new lens, like a new front lens, a new protective lens, that needs to carry the twist, because these, this is like nothing for the structure, the frame. It's mostly held by the acrylic that's bent. I should like email them and say, hey, can you guys like unbend a pair just a little bit? I know as soon as I take a torch to this thing, like if I take the hot air gun to this, it'll just break them. I'm sure it'll just, the plastic will be like, nope. And then something horrible will happen. But that might be what I need to do. I might need to like put them in the oven and then very carefully bend them out like that. If I could like put something like a clamp on this, that would open it up just a little. And you can actually see, if I show you guys, you can see the glasses like right there. Now, do you have a spare oven? I do actually. I have a toaster oven that sits down here in the basement. As it's possible with some good temperature control, I could put these in that toaster oven down here. I just don't want to ruin them. I want to barely get to like the temperature where they will permanently flex and just do that. I don't know what it would take to get it to stick. I think you do need to get up to certain temperatures that aren't good for plastic. They're not good for plastic. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Just all I need is just a little bit. I'm going to end up like breaking these. These are going to just like explode. Ooh, I don't want to do it any further. See, and then they come all the way back and bend it. I just need them to, just that. And then they might fit my face better too, because I've got a big wide face. Actually, I'm terminally average for most things. I just have a slightly larger than normal nose bridge. It's so fiddly with plastics too. I've done a little bit of stuff with heating up plastics for like headlight manipulation, and it's just that everything goes wrong in a half a second. You just don't. Yeah, it's so tough out there with altering plastics. That's why, you know, instead of, because that was the idea, is with the nose bridge, maybe I could just bend the plastic back and that would work. But if I did that, getting this thing up to temperature could potentially just completely destroy it. So I decided to use the 3D printer in a moment of clarity to print about 17 of them. It was a lot of work, but you know, we can do stuff like that here. I just wish I could get these to permanent bend. If I put them like on something that would hold them out like this, and then like snuck the temperature up, maybe it would, but then they might not pinch my face as much and they might fall off my face more easily. Because yeah, these gently hug the side of my face. Maybe if I really need to see something, I can just push them against me. Yeah, no, that doesn't. Actually, that does kind of work. That does kind of work. It does kind of unbend them a little bit. Ah, it took an eyebrow. I don't have a lot of eyebrow. Don't take my eyebrow. Normal mode. Yeah, I can remove the lenses from the frame. Could you build a more robust frame? I could build a more robust frame. I don't need to. These are ballistically rated safety glasses. They're for, you know, Joe Bubba redneck to go shooting with, and they think they look really cool in their wraparound sunglasses, right? So there are replaceable lens pieces on these things, but these are ballistically rated. So this is an offshoot of Oakley. You know how Oakley had the advertisement that they were like bulletproof glasses? Well, I needed prescription safety glasses and shooting glasses, and I wanted to get something that was good. And a friend of mine said, this is the cheapest solution that I could find, and these will actually protect your eyes for like a ricochet. So having that like ballistic protection, you know, I've got a circular saw. So I figure, you know what, it can't hurt. So it was like $60 for the glasses, and then the lens insert, I think, was like 20 something. And then the more expensive part is getting the prescription lenses on them. I did a thing where I did my prescription lenses here and these at the same time. That was like a couple $100. It was not fun. And I still think they messed up my prescription a tiny bit. But the lenses can unclip from this frame. They only sell one frame. They sell one frame, and that clips to these. There's also an alternative style of glasses that I think they're smaller, and they probably fit in here better. I'm not going to go through all the trouble to get the prescription again. These also have the floating frame that I'm used to, not having material around the glasses to look through. So these I'm more like comfortable with overall. The problem is if I have the distance to the glasses the same as they are in, there it is. If I have the distance to the glasses so that my eyelashes barely touch them, that's what this is. And having these frames properly protect my face. Like this here is against, not quite against, it's close to my cheekbones, right? So there's a bunch of trade-offs, but yeah, it's doing that. And I don't think I can afford the time and the money, not really the time, it's more the money to have my pupillary distance a bit further in so that these might not distort. These won't distort if I do this. But if I move them back the distance where they don't distort, it's like a comical amount of distance. I don't know why that is. This is what's required to have them just barely in front. But if I have that, that moves these glasses so far forward that there's a huge gap over here. They're all trade-offs. It's all trade-offs. I took the slightly blurrier vision where I have to look out of the side of my face like a lizard. So if I were to focus on something, I can't really look directly ahead. I can kind of read the text under the camera. It's just a tiny bit blurry, but if I move like this, now I can read it perfectly with my left eye. I don't know. Is that a good trade-off or not? I'm not sure. Do I look cool? No. No. Wraparound sunglasses do not agree with people with huge schnozzes. No, looking cool is not the goal here, but having this part of the eye protected is nice. I might get the gasket. I might get the gasket for these. They sell a rubber piece that'll go around this, and then you won't get dust in your eye, but it's probably like very light dust. Have you considered nose or eye surgery? Quite a DIY option. Yeah, I don't have thousands of dollars for either of those. I definitely don't want to do eye surgery. Nose surgery, come on. I'm beautiful. I don't need no nose surgery. We're doing a hashtag AutoCAD ad today. I'm not working on circuit boards. We'll do that maybe in the near future. This is the churn of a bunch of different projects that I like to do around here, just to keep a little bit of variety going. But we're going to work on one facet of the keyboard project that, again, I can take advantage of now that I've got clear goop in the goop printer. I don't know when I'll switch to black goop and we'll do a little Prometheus thing where I touch the black goop and then I dissolve into dust. But I don't have enough blue paint to paint myself blue for that. But yeah, at some point I'll get the right stuff. Oops, oh, now my face is going to be all. Let's go back to the setup, and I'll do another face procedure, and then I'll just refocus the face camera again. Automation. So all these automations are powered by the Stream Deck in multi-actions. The social, not social stream, the bar rater tools for Logitech webcams and Node-RED. Now the thing is, I wonder if I could put the procedure completely on Node-RED. I wonder if I could do that. Because right now what happens is we send it a command that contains a frame rate. And so I'm able to, that's this one here, OBS source FPS. And then it will, when we hit this one, it'll then do the input settings and change the FPS. So set and then set FPS max. It sets it back and forth so that we can do the thing that like shakes the Logitech into working properly. What has happened to the music in the background? Hold on a second. This is like booty shaking music. What are we doing here? No. It went to a breakbeat mix. Let's see. Where's my definition of chill? Volume 4, Part 1. I think we've already listened to this one, but I'll do it anyway. And then block the ads. Hey, guess what? The mute button exists. We can still use old school methods in order to block ads. It's a shame we can't use stuff hidden in the signal to block ads anymore. Like with TV, how they used to have a box that you could plug in that would just kind of know where the ads were coming because of something like embedded in the signal. And it would just cut off the TV until the ad was over. Those are the days. All right, there we go. Unmute. Yeah, that's a little better. It's more backgroundy. Yeah, so lots of stuff. Been working on lots of stuff. Broke the toilet down here. Flooded the bathroom. The guy came. He did my shower, which no longer had hot water because of those stupid floating like valve things that equalize the pressure, so that you can just have a temperature knob and like is it a volume knob? I think it's a volume knob. I don't think it's a pressure knob, right? The one that makes the shower go harder into the paint. Well, PV equals PV, so it's not like the volume is changing, I guess, so that it would be a pressure knob. I like calling it a volume knob. Turn up the volume on your shower, because it is like it does give you more volume of water, but it doesn't change the volume of the pipes. So it is a pressure knob. Who knows? But anyway, so those fail. Those little floaty things inside of the valves, inside of the shower valve fails, and mine failed in exactly the position of the temperature that I like mid-shower, but I don't like a super duper hot shower. So it was pretty much at super duper hot all the time. So I've been taking like super screaming hot showers the past couple days. Now the guy replaced it and he put in something that's incredibly cheap. The new shower valve has no pressure control on it. It's always going as hard as it can, which is not very, because all these things have flow control on them now. They're all limited. They've got flow limiters in it. And they were like, oh, just pop it open and get rid of the flow limiter. Well, it turns out the shower wand that I have has a big spring in it, and that big spring is a valve that goes to the end. And so that big spring is what's fighting the water pressure and lowering the amount of water pressure in the shower head. And I think it's an integral part of the whole wand. It's ridiculous. I was just gonna remove a disc or drill something out, but it turns out it's like inherent to the design of that actual shower wand. But yeah, I put in like a cheap one that I can't control, but I do get cold water. So that took a day or two. And now we have a new toilet downstairs because I broke that too. That needed a whole thing. So we're done with plumbing. I think I can come back and do some streams. We can get some progress on these projects. These everlasting projects of mine. The keyboard being one of them, and I would like to get to the PCB on the keyboard, the thing that we're adding to the back of the keyboard. But today, since I've got the goop in the printer, we're going to use the 3D scanner. I'm going to figure out the dimensions of this cursed hole. I used the milling machine to try to mill this hole, but the clamping that we used on the plastic case for the keyboard made it distort in all kinds of horrible ways. As much as I'd like to come up with a brand new case for this thing, I should probably make it work. This has been an insane DIY keyboard because these keep breaking. The Code 10 keyless is a nice keyboard. It's got a great feel. It's got a metal back. All the things you'd expect for the price, right? Except it sees a drop of water, it dies. Because right behind this cluster right here is the microcontroller for the keyboard, and it's down here, and water just tends to go this way when it hits the keyboard. And then that gets into like the crystal of the microcontroller, dead. It kills it dead. I think I closed Fusion in the other computer. I think I did that. Yeah, I did. What's that? I can't hear you over my stream start soon. No, we're going to be working on the keyboard. I'm just chatting it up with chat to make sure that everybody's here. You know, people come in late-ish, and I want them to be able to get the summary of the stuff we're working on as well. I already said I was beautiful. We were talking about the safety glasses that I'm putting on. And one of the thoughts was, well, you could get eye surgery or nose surgery. And I'm like, bitch, I'm beautiful. I know it. I know what I got. I know what I got going on. Super fashionable. These are supposedly how I can see things while also working on them. My prescription is not that intense. You know, I can just view stuff like this. I'm nearsighted, but it's nice to have safety glasses that I could actually see things in case I'm, you know, on a job site or something like that. Who knows? I ran when parked. I know what I got. Why are you broken, On-Air Light? Let's do a little, because that thing went purple the other day, and it shouldn't be going purple for no reason. When I open up OBS, it should be also doing stuff. So why are you messed up? Why are you like this? That's not flipped, is it? No, that's on. I got these light stands just as kind of a simple way to do stuff with the Tasmota lights. So that should be cool. That should be cool. Is it, wait, where is it plugged into? Maybe I unplugged it. No, it's plugged in. Oh, look at that. Okay, maybe that's why. I think I bumped into the plug strip. I must have powered it off with the 3D printer. Now, it's not on, so we need to actually, like, inject it with a signal, I think. Yeah, I shouldn't, well, let's see, hold on. Somewhere in these flows, I have, there's the on-air light. So we can do an on-air status, and that should, with a 7-second delay, I think. There it is. Okay. So yeah, what happened there was I sent a toggle. This toggle gets a 1-second delay for if I reboot Node-RED. If I reboot Node-RED, it'll inject this toggle automatically. This is typically responding to stuff that's going on. So like OBS connection status and stream state change. But instead, what I'm doing is I'm toggling and I'm getting the stream status. And so the stream status, we're looking for an is broadcasting true or false. If we get a true, then it'll set the light to be red. Red goes through a filter, which makes sure that we don't send it the same thing twice or multiple times. Basically, the light would flicker red every now and then because it was getting the same command again and again. That's coming from here. This OBS connection status sends a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So anyway, so if that comes out, then it goes to red, and then it delays 7 seconds so that we can catch it on camera. If I start broadcasting, I'll sometimes start on this screen here, like this. This is the Burn the Subs recording camera, but Burn the Subs is not active. So I use it as kind of like a desk and status cam. I can kind of interact with it over here if I need to. But then that will, if I'm on this page, if I'm on this scene and I go live, in 7 seconds, the on-air light turns on nice and dramatically. So yeah, that's how this works. One thing that it also can do is when certain statuses are achieved, like the purple or the green status. Green means everything is off. I've stopped broadcasting and I don't have to worry about an accidental 8-hour stream when I go walk the dog. So green also sends a packet over to a delay. So a 10-minute delay. So it gets held for 10 minutes, and then I send the off command. So that goes into the off command, it becomes off, and then off goes through the filter, and it gets through the delay, and then it hits the bulb. So if I stop broadcasting or if I open OBS, in 10 minutes, the light just turns off. So I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know if, I think maybe what happened was the 3D printing cart, I think I backed it into the corner where it lives over there. It's right there. It's on the end of the table. And I think I parked it and I think I hit the plug for the desk, and that unplugged my status light. Now we need to make another status light. I need to make two actually. I have two other status lights that I would really like to build. One is a blood glucose level status light, and that'll just be like a simple like green, red, yellow type thing, blue. The other one that I want to make is server status. We need to figure out how to get info from my server. Very specifically, the smart status of the drives. If the smart status reports any errors, I want that light to be like prominent. Basically put it on top of the server, and then it'll tell me if I need to check if any of the drives are okay. Because I haven't done that in a little while. I get nervous about my server massively biting the big weenie in the sky and leaving me dataless. That's not where I back up my streams, but I do have a lot of project data on there. All right. Waking up, getting ready to stream, ready to go. Do a little nimbleness training. Yeah, little bit of CAD today. It should be pretty easy stuff, and we're gonna see how the Creality Ferret scans. We're gonna see how good it is at that, because I've got a hole. I've got a hole that needs plugged, which is a hole in my keyboard. It's a screen hole, and so I think I can do tricky stuff. I think I can do interesting stuff with it, and trying to get it like level. I do need to also clean the keyboard a little bit before we go forward with that. But that's what we're going to work on today. It'll be kind of fun. But then, other than that, I need to do Burn the Subs. I think on Thursday we're going to work on Burn the Subs, and I'm actually going to go live on Thursday. I'm actually going to do it. Believe it or not, I will go live on Thursday, and we'll work on Burn the Subs. And I don't know what we're going to do. There's a lot of stuff to do. This is like tertiary to getting Burn the Subs together. I think we should get all of our hardware working for a bench test. So I need to get 2 motors on the bench. I need to get some wiring harnesses, I guess. Maybe I'll need to build the wiring harness that goes up on the board, and we'll get all the tubes in there and stuff. And then we can test everything on the bench and make sure that it works. Now that we know the power supply is good for powering, and it's not loud or any of the other concerns that I had with it. There's a hole in my keyboard. Oh, that's not a song that I know. Dear Lisa, I do not know that song. How y'all doing today? What do we got going on? I don't have much going on here. It's been kind of a quiet couple days as I work on little facets of things. I'm gonna start cleaning this up. How long did it take you to accumulate all these doodads and whatchamacallits and whatnots and gizmos and thingamabobs? I was a high-level employee of the Thingamabob Corporation. No, I've just been collecting stuff. A lot of this stuff is things that I have considered for projects. Oh, here they are. Things that I've considered to work with and tried to alter to my liking, much like, your natural engineer. Pretty much what engineers do. They go, I don't know if I like the way that works. I can fix it. There's a lot of I can fix it. And that leads to a lot of detritus. And people see that as thingamabobs when they're really just broken dreams. This thing is nasty. Filthy McNasty. Woo! Look at that. Not as bad as Rabaz's keyboard when he did all that keyboard work, but I'm sure his keyboard is filthy nowadays. Usually I keep it a little cleaner than this. Luckily, you guys can't see all of the horrible, horrible stuff that coats this poor keyboard. This is a little too chill. This is like catatonic music. There's a hole in my bucket. Do I know? I don't know if I can't recall it. If I heard it, I'd know it immediately. I used to fix my electric RC cars back in the day. Usually had screws and cogs over when I extra parts. My brother was always like that. He would always help me build the Lego and then have all of these extra parts because he would simply just skip stuff in the instructions. He's good at working on cars now, but I always wondered, where did all these extra parts? I mean, it turns out that Legos in the 80s and 90s also did have extra parts in the bags. Yeah, the RC car stuff was really fun. It's too bad I couldn't have gotten that working so that I could actually drive it around during the pandemic. Luckily, I mean, I need to organize all the stuff for the RC cars though, because that really took over. But just buying and building the RC car, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Back when I had money. No, Burn the Subs has got to get working again. That's a must project now. Just because, I need my claim to fame back, and I need to get viewers back and all that stuff. So Lego still has extra parts of the bag. I haven't built a Lego set in a long time. My nephew is starting to age out of that sort of Lego building age, which he should technically never age out of that. But I mean, how many Christmases are you going to get him Lego in a row? So he used to get some big Lego set, and we would all build it. And you were able to see that moment when his attention span just broke and he was no longer able to follow instructions. But the funny part is when my brother helps, he just simply takes over. He doesn't let the kid like think for himself or anything. He just simply builds it. I'm like, dude, you gotta let my nephew like do stuff. He knows what he's doing if you let him. All right, so that's disinfected, at least. There's still going to be crud all over. Oh yeah, this is disgusting. I mean, I don't really think we need the home row key, but I'm cleaning it off anyway. There's probably all kinds of dirt and hair inside of this thing, though. Oh my god, this is like drunk, slow music. What's going on? Connecting to chat. Welcome to the chat room. What the heck? Okay, this is too chill. It's like super duper slow. Music to walk home, blackout, drunk by, with. I don't know. Oh, that white made it like sticky. Ugh. Ugh. I need to like drown this in Windex, I think. Synthwave? I do like me some synthwave. Neon Odin. Yeah, so the music is only audible for the people on Twitch. So I like to have intro music here so that if I'm not talking, people know that stuff's going on. And so I've chosen mostly Space Cowboys music and musicians that I know. Not like know in person. But the SoundCloud has been like clamping down on their website, and it's been harder and harder for me to use. So I may need to go somewhere else. And maybe that means I need to find new people. We've had kind of the same intro music for a long time. It's the same type of stuff. So yeah, like synthwave is cool. So the DJs I know do tech house, which is fairly minimalistic house music. It's party music. It's that kind of stuff. The Space Cowboys stuff is because in 2011 I went to Burning Man, and I walked out to the Unimog and partied with all of them. And so they have sort of more poppy kind of mixes in their DJ lineup. And then I use chill music because it can kind of be a little bit of a wallpaper in the background that I can talk over and not be drowned out by lyrics and stuff like that. But I should go on a music quest. I have been trying to finish building a modular synthesizer, which it's not going to meet the needs of completely manufacturing a track, right? But it might be able to give me some like ambient stuff that I could have in the background of the intro that isn't too interrupty, and maybe will set a vibe for the rest of the stream. That would be nice if I could pull that off, but I don't know if I will. The modular synthesizer, of course, is its own hobby. So if it doesn't meet that need, I'm still going to be happy with doing all the modular synthesizer stuff. A vibicator, the pleasant woobling wobulator. It's a wobulator. I'm plugging this thing in because I need the front plug for the computer that we still haven't designed a front panel for. Too many. See, where did you get all this stuff, Bother? It's like, well, I am in arm's reach of about 7 projects right now that I haven't finished. A lot of the stuff you see is unfinished project stuff. How can I get my music played on stream? I don't know. I don't know if I want to open that can of worms. You can post it in the music section of the Discord for people to listen to. I'm happy to have self-promotion in the Discord. We got a pretty unique pack of gremlins in the Discord, so. And I would love to listen to it. Let's see, what else? What else we got going on? I got Burn the Subs is kind of like coming back into focus. Yeah, Gremlins. Yeah, full little gremlin-y little Discord users doing their gremlin-y Discord things. I love them to death. But Burn the Subs is coming back into the focus. I'm starting to get an impression of what state that's in. Soon enough, I think after doing a little bit of wiring on the main panel, We're going to have to do a lot of wiring on the main panel, actually, because I've got two different screens that we're using. Screens are a whole new thing to me, and we'll figure out how we can utilize the LED screen and the VFD character display. So we'll have a character display that'll be able to tell statuses and stuff directly. We have also an LED panel on the side of the thing that can give me statuses, although those will, I don't know what the role of those is going to be. We put a lot of work into them, and I got them to look really good with 3D printed clear material and black. We were able to print layer by layer and get those status lights to look nice. And of course, the trick with the LEDs and 3D printing is, here's a big one. If you're making something like a 3D printed sign that's supposed to show light through it, so like this is supposed to show light. This was printed on the wrong axis, so this is just an extra one that I keep around. But I was doing sideways, not straight up and down. But what you do is you print clear, and then you put a black layer on top of it. And it, you know, you can play with the thickness of the black layer on top of it. But what's going to happen is an LED going through this is going to hit all of the different layers of the filament and scatter all over the place. And it creates, because there are tiny little gaps in the material, it'll create a sparkly kind of thing. So what you do, take a piece of paper, put the piece of paper behind it, and you back your LEDs away from the source appropriately enough. And if you do that well, you can get some pretty cool effects like this thing. If I go into, I don't know if this button still works. Hold on a sec. This one. Yeah, that changes the light settings just a little bit so that you can see it. But you can get some pretty cool effects with LEDs fading into each other. Put that back. I wonder if I can take over that LED thing and have it powered through Node-RED. Because then the whole rack would, well, the whole rack needs to be redone. There have been some changes in what I'm doing here and how I do it, and those changes need to be reflected in the computer rack that controls everything here. Why am I having trouble with this? There, kind of locks in when I do it like that. All right. Yeah. This desk is a testament to the pile of projects. I am trying to organize the shelving that is behind Burn the Subs, behind the 3D printer. There's a rack of shelves where I keep these open, they're beer crates, right? The open beer cardboard when you buy from a distributor, because in Pennsylvania we have distributors because we're weird. You have to buy beer from a beer distributor or a supermarket that happens to have a bar in it. That's how they got around the laws. My local supermarket has a bar, and there used to be old guys drinking in it. And I'm like, this isn't right. This is weird. This is like an Acme that has people drinking in it. What's going on? And the reason they do that is so that they can sell alcohol and catch up with the rest of the world and the way the world works. It's so weird. Pennsylvania's weird. You go to a beer distributor, of course the prices are really good at a beer distributor, and that's where you buy huge crates of whatever you want to drink. And so those will come in these cardboard bins to hold two cases, right? So I've used those cardboard bins to organize my project so that I can get all the parts into one thing, and that allows me to sweep a desk clean and make space for other stuff that I'm working on. That's been part of sort of the way the churn of the variety projects works. I mean, you do that, or I don't know, there's other ways to kind of work within that system, but that's how I do it. I have bins for stuff. That unfortunately became a bit of an archive. It became a bit of an archive. So I'm pulling it all out. I'm throwing away stuff that I don't want and reorganizing them and then putting them back. And I've done a little bit of it. I need to sit over there and like just make myself do that. I think I'll probably end up doing that on Wednesday. And once I'm done that, I can work on the audio stuff over here, organizing that out a little bit, getting the mixer to be a little bit more of a universal player in the whole streaming setup. So far, I've moved all the microphones to that mixer, so that is now the microphone inlet for the entire stream. So if I move it over to the other desk, I've got a channel that's dedicated to the open microphone, the AT4040. And I should probably get a preamp for that. I'm looking at, I want to look at like a nice vacuum tube preamp for the AT4040. I think it would make my dulcet tones just a little bit nicer. A little bit of softness to it. You'll get good sounding audio. Anyway, yeah, I'll get like nice sounding audio out of that. I think that would be a neat thing. My love for vacuum tubes stems from always having them in conversation. I used to work with a bunch of audio nerds when I was a college kid, and they would talk about sort of like, transistors can do whatever a vacuum tube does, and it's like, okay, I get that. That makes sense from an electrical engineering standpoint. But the transistors have fundamentally different physics than your vacuum tube does. Somehow that translates into the higher frequencies being treated a little differently. And I personally do hear a difference, but I don't think I would be able to point it out in a lineup. I think it's just fun to have this 60 volt heated element with an electron screen managing your audio. I think that's really cool. So I would like to make a mic preamp for the AT4040, and maybe that could translate into some of those, dulcet, nice tones. My audio is probably fine the way it is. It is pretty good the way it is, and people don't complain. So, don't necessarily want to pet that burning dog. Is that how that phrase goes? Oh, the fan. I need to move the fan. I'm starting to sweat. Starting to get sweaty. We'll start in just a minute here. I was a little late today because they were installing a new turlet. We have a new turlet downstairs. My poor old turlet blew up. Okay, yeah, let's get rid of Start Stune. Doink. And then we can lower the volume because they're talking too much in this track. That's a good mix. It's Deckard from Space Cowboys doing my definition of chill. That's the stuff that I really like to have in the background there. Howdy, everybody. So I got my extensions working in Chrome again. I had to find a Reddit thread that told me how to do it. You have to go into the developer settings that are like deep in the thing, and all of the manifest v2 stuff you have to enable or disable, turn off the warnings, turn on the warnings. I don't know when that's going to blow up in my face and Chrome will finally just say, dude, no, you can't do that. Because I think the ad block stuff has broken. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know. The ad block stuff is probably not going to get updated, and so it probably will not work going forward. In which case, I need to switch everything to Firefox. But right now, in order to get both chats on screen, I had to go back in and re-enable some of those features that Google decided that they hated. Very annoying to have to do. One day, I will switch to Linux, and then I'll finally be happy. How's everybody doing today? It is a Tuesday. I am finally clamping down and getting back to work on streaming more often. Too many circumstances have come up delaying and stopping streams. So I'm putting my foot down, and I'm going to definitely get my time in. If Pennsylvania ends up having work requirements around healthcare, I will have to kowtow to those, in which case we may pick up another day. I might do Wednesday. It might be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is a bit of a marathon. We don't get to order parts, but it means I can get a lot of these projects that I was talking about in the pre-stream. I can get a lot more attention to these projects because I have to. I have to stream them. I have to. I'm forced to. I have my face is being shoved into my own pee puddle. I'll have to actually get stuff not necessarily done, because when you finish a project, it's done, right? It's you don't keep working on it. No, I will try to finish stuff to the best of my ability. That's what we're all about here. We do multi-stream, big, real engineering projects instead of me just, plugging my butt into the wall and seeing what will happen. We don't do stuff like that. I don't do the zany projects. We should think of a couple of silly ones. We did the 100 volt emote thrower, and I need to actually make that work. And I wasn't able to because we didn't have the right transistor. but yeah, we gotta figure out a couple fun ones like that. Today is something a little bit lighter. This is my keyboard. This has been a standing project for the stream. This started as a Pico Pi project, and I was able, and this thing, by the way, we did the keyboard project like a couple years ago. It's using Quick Mechanical Keyboard instead of what Code 10 Keyless has on it. Now, there are projects where they reflash the code 10 keyless firmware. We didn't do that because I kept spilling stuff on my keyboard and destroying it. This is a code 10 keyless. This keyboard is unique among all mechanical keyboards because they have these banks of keys that are the rows and columns. So you actually have row, 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 your boat. It's surrounding home row. You have these rows of keys and sort of a loose column structure. So the rows and columns get scanned to see which ones are being pressed down, and it scans around your home row faster, apparently, instead of scanning, like, for instance, down like this, or any other scheme where you'd scan sort of in a unique pattern. Instead, this will do like these, like it just gets to you faster, which is kind of cool. That doesn't really, I haven't really seen any advantage in that, to be honest. But when my keyboard broke, we had to discover all of this. And apparently it's something that they tout as one of the advantages of their keyboards. I don't see any real functional effect of that. It's like a solution in the search of a problem. Yeah, so was scanning speed an issue before? Not really, no. It's very markety, kind of market speak. But I don't know. Maybe like in crazy gaming circles it could be a thing. Probably not, though. Probably not. There was something where, like in shooters or something, you could press down a key to like cancel another key or something. Well, I got a cough. Oh, I don't know what kind of dust got up into the air, but feeling that in the back of my throat for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really think there's a huge advantage to that because you've got to scan them all anyway, right? So you're going to be back in the same interval. You're going to return to scanning that same key in the same interval, but they put all the engineering into it and they by golly, they made it work. So maybe it does something, or maybe it's just sort of a fun way to organize your rows and columns. Yeah, but we got the keyboard working in spite of the craziness. We got it working, and I did that with some muxes. They're analog muxes, so they're slow. The problem with the slow muxes, well, we had to slow down QMK in order to scan those muxes properly. What I would like to do eventually with this keyboard is move it into an actual bespoke microcontroller instead of a cheapo PicoPi. The PicoPi is a very nice microcontroller board. It does everything that I would ever want it to do, but it doesn't run all of the pins out from the microcontroller itself. So I added some muxes. They're glued to the PCB down here, and my clever wiring scheme sort of ran all the pins out. What I wanted to do is design a flexible PCB so that I could press down the flexible PCB against the pins of the microcontroller and have access to all the rows and columns. That got a little bit hamstrung by all of the uncertainty in the world today. You can probably put two and two together. Tariffs are a bitch, and we may or may not have to deal with them. I'm not sure. So I didn't really work on the keyboard project much. The screen stopped turning on. I don't know what happened to that. But QMK supports a screen, and so this keyboard has a little screen in it. I haven't done anything with the screen. Maybe eventually I will. Do you ever miss having an enter key at the bottom right corner? I hit that with a mouse and thumb. No, I don't miss it at all. I don't miss the numpad. I'm actually fairly quick with these. Even like programming and stuff like that, we got to put numbers into stuff. Yeah, I'm fairly quick with the 0 to 9 on the top. And I was that way when I worked the register at a bookstore. A lot of people love their keypad for entering numbers and, you know, doing calculations and stuff like that. Nah, I'm fine with these. These are fine. Yeah, and there's a little tiny bit of extra room for the mouse, right? This is the one that gets really annoying because I don't have F keys on it. And when you're doing weird stuff with computers and programming, sometimes you use those F keys. It would be nice to have them. I have another one of these code 10 keylesses that also died due to moisture. Eventually they get done dealing with my BS and they just die. And I think it's mostly probably the crystal dies. And so the keyboard's just like, no, and it doesn't turn on again. So we have $30 backup. It's actually not bad. It's a mechanical keyboard, but $30 backup, the tiny keyboard in here. I would like to get the 10 keyless back in, so we do have to finish that PCB part of the project. But right now we're not worried about that. That is another sponsored thing that I'd be doing. Instead, what we're doing with the wonderful and delightful Fusion 360 software suite, we're using Fusion 360. I have a model of what I thought would protect the screen. It's this thing over here by my pubic hair. This thing right here. And I printed it on the Goop printer, and it is frosted. I still think I'd be able to see the OLED screen through it. I wasn't able to test it, but I would like to print one of these that is sized to fit this window exactly. So if I print on the print bed, where'd the other version of this go? Hold on, let me go get the other version of it. It's on the desk over there. Let me go get it, because I think we can do something kind of fun and silly with this. So this is the version of the screen that I put directly on the bed. The only time I really miss having that numpad is when a game requires me to use it. Like GTA 5 would require you to use the numpad to pilot stuff, and so I wasn't really able to, like, then again, I just had a controller sitting next to the computer, and I just used that, and it would seamlessly switch. So that was my solution around not having a numpad. So really, I've never missed the numpad. My printer, for some reason, has a lot of trouble starting big prints directly on the bed. I think it messes up pulling it away because it's such a big surface area. Not having a numpad is pretty much the main reason that I refuse to use TKL keyboards. I don't, people love their numpads. I am not that crazy. Despite all efforts. Wait, what is TKL keyboard? What is the, what does that mean? Oh, it broke. Yeah, these are not strong. But I can get a semi-clear surface if I print directly from the bed of the printer. What I would do in that case is have the semi-clear surface. Oh my God, don't look at that. Keyboard is absolutely filthy. I really need to clean it up with something stronger than a disinfectant wipe, because that is horrifying. Anyway, so here's the deal. This is a little weird having the screen here, and I'm not that used to it. I tried to cut out this cutout for the screen using my milling machine. It didn't work that well because it distorted everything. Oh, 10 keyless. Okay, yeah. That's what these are. These are 10 keyless. 10 keyless. Tentacles. So we have this opening here, and it's not exactly perfect, but I think what I would like to do with it. Now, if we printed normally, it would have kind of a similar texture. It would kind of look like this, right? And this is my attempt to print what was my old measurement of the screen area. I think what I could do is, instead of having, it'll make it look a lot nicer, because this is what I did. I have this square on the outside that kind of makes it look a lot nicer. It sort of covers over my terrible hole. Instead of covering over my terrible hole, I think what I can do is have the clear part of this come all the way up to the surface. So we have a textured thing, and then it suddenly is very smooth for this area. And below that would be the frosted top piece. So the frosted area would be like through the plastic. You'd look through the plastic and you would see the frosted stuff, and then the letters would come through that. I think that's the way to do it. I think so. So in order to get this is a unique shape that I've sort of created here by being terrible with the milling machine. This is small. This is actually small for this scanner. So I don't know if we'll really pull this off, but we can try to 3D scan this hole and make something that will clip in from behind and protect the screen from, you know, all of the detritus that you see all over this keyboard. I love my 1896 key, 98% keyboard layout. You got to get, what you got to get is the one with all the Japanese kanji on it. It's like 10,000 keys. But yeah, let's open up the scanning program. So that would be CR scan, right? Creality scan. This thing's going to eat up all the memory of this computer, and then the chat is going to park itself and no longer update. And I won't catch it for a long time because we don't have a lot of people here today. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because we don't have a lot of people here today. And so I will end up using the new button that we programmed in order to refresh the cache on that. I can't believe that there's like a poke feature for hitting buttons in menus on OBS from the WebSockets. It's so cool. It really makes me want to like revert some stuff over to WebSockets, like the camera procedure I could put into the WebSockets and have it on Node-RED. Maybe. I don't know if I can reign control of all those camera features. Seems like I can if you're able to go down to even just like poking a button. Let's see if we can get this thing to scan, and we can try to design in Fusion 360 just a little like insert that goes in there. So it'll have a smooth front. The only problem is the overhangs. The smooth front with overhangs, because then it would be against the printer and have this overhang here. I don't know if it would need a bunch of support. I guess if the overhangs are a little rough, I can always just give them like a light, just a little scrub on a piece of sandpaper and make them smooth again. And then you won't be able to see any of that stuff. It's essentially going to be two squares. Only one of the squares is going to be slightly weird because of what I've done here. We'll see what kind of resolution we can get out of the scan. I don't, the utility of the scan in this case, it might just be sort of an informed checker to see if our numbers are not crazy. I think I could probably pull off this project without the scanner, but we're gonna try with the scanner and just see what happens. Okay. So last time I scanned something, I made this. This is pretty cool. It's a poster board with a bunch of little dots on it. And this poster board with a bunch of little dots on it is going to give the CR scanner reference to where the heck it is, to what it's looking at. Without us having to spray the keyboard with anything or having to put dots on it, basically. And then that allows us to put it on this flat field that's going to get eliminated from the rest of the scan, and we could potentially get a decent scan of this thing. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to get 360 degrees around that hole without doing something weird to the keyboard, like standing it up. So let's figure this out. Love the new shield. Shield? What do you mean? Oh, I'm shielding myself from chat. It is nice back here. It's kind of private, without the webcams. Anyway, we got to put this down on something, and since a shop abhors an empty surface, workshops abhor any upward-facing blank surface. They almost immediately fill with stuff. So the only surface we have is this heat print of my butt. This is the heat print of my butt. If you guys are looking to get into any high security areas and you haven't passed the heat butt print stage, this is it right here for you. You need to get an image of this and print it out on thermal paper and then hold it up to the scanner, and then you'll be able to let into the thermal butt print area. I think going like this, I think vertically like this, and then I'm able to get to both sides of this piece specifically. This is kind of a job for a photocopier. If you have a photocopier and you have a flat surface, this is tilted, I think it's a little bit off flat. You could put this down on a photocopier and get a good orthographic scan of it using the photocopier. But I have a CR scan, and so I'm inclined to use it. Now, here's where we get into high technology. I am going to use this premier material that everybody has been talking to me about, Blu-Tack. This is a Flatulent Gonad special. He's streaming right now, by the way. You guys should go check out Flatulent Gonad. I don't know why you're watching my channel. It's kind of a little bit cringe. Yeah, so we can pull the Blu-Tack, get a little bit of heat in there. That'll loosen it up, make it a little tacky. And maybe we can use it to stand this thing up. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I was told that this was amazing technology. Sorry, 98 key, 96%. Oh my God, how could you get that wrong? How could you get that wrong? Are we actually streaming on YouTube? I think yeah, I got the YouTube chat up. Of course we are. For my what do you call it? My VOD saving purposes. The lighting is all weird. It's just weird lighting when we don't look at the desk. The desk has all the lights on it. All right, so I am to want to being to scan thing. I split it in half. Bah! And then we're going to see about holding this up. I'll use the larger surface. Oh, there we go. Indeed, I am streaming to YouTube, as the YouTube chatter kills my whole career by chatting alongside their Twitch brethren. It is highly illegal for me to be streaming to both. Apparently, larger streamers have gotten in trouble for it, which is insane, because Twitch's premium experience is not to be violated by co-streaming. I'm allowed to co-stream, but I'm not allowed to have both chats up at once. Oh my god. Gonad is playing games in 3D printing. What else is new? That's all he does. And that's all he needs to do, really. Honestly, he runs a good stream. He has more viewers than I do, probably currently. How are we doing on that? I shouldn't keep checking. Yeah, it's going to be a small stream today. I haven't been streaming as regularly, and so people are flighty with streams, and everybody's busy this season, so we're getting back into the swing of things. I'm going to be back on schedule, and it's possible that in the near future I bring in Wednesdays too, which will lead to more viewers. Okay. Yeah, let us get scanning. So this thing really does well when I have this dot field. Oh, please don't have burst open. Thank fuck. I had a whole package of ferals fall down and onto the floor. That could have been serious business. All right, new project. Call it Keebed. His name is Keeber. Keebed. The flexible PCB is going to be kind of awesome when we can get that working. I don't know what I was thinking when I put a ground plane beneath those pins. If I didn't do that, we would have a working, small. We're very small. Disable flat base, yes. High quality, yes. We are using markers. Yes, disable the flat base. See, what it'll do is it'll scan all the markers in and then get them out of there, so you don't have to have a thing that's covered in markers. And we're doing a normal object. It's not my body. One day we'll 3D scan my private parts and I can finally give you guys my butthole. All right, let's scan. This is going to be rough because it is a small object. Insufficient markers. My ass. Oh, so is it going to penalize me because it doesn't have markers that are close to the object? Hold on, let's get around it here. Yeah, I got to keep a bunch of these in view at the same time. I don't know if I can go high enough. Okay, so I just need to keep everything in the view. This is not going to be easy. This ain't going to be easy. See, this is a good angle. This gives me the most number. But you can see all the noise around the hole there. I have the dark theme, the Halloween theme from Deltarune stuck in my goddamn head. And Tricky Tony Fox is really, really good at his chiptune music. And it's just running like ad-free in my brain permanently. I have no control over it. It's torture. It's hell. It's a good song. I posted it in the Discord. I don't think we need to alter the exposure. Brightness of the laser field. Oh, it's automatically doing that. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough scan. The CR scan is really good for like checking over your work. It's not by any means, it's not something to replace actually shaping and forming and measuring your objects that you're creating, right? Like, I mean, a lot of the time, if you're making like a 3D printed emote, like the one that's sitting on the desk there, you're not really going to hold yourself to like size standards and stuff. You just want straight lines for things. But if you're doing something like exactly what we're doing right now. We're making a part that'll fit in a physical space. It will not give you an incredible amount of accuracy. It'll give you enough accuracy. So like the 3D scan of my head can be useful for a lot of things because we can form stuff to kind of loosely fit the shape of my noggin. I'm not doing any cosplay. I'm not going to any furry conventions anytime soon. So I'm not really working in that space, but I mean, you could make some pretty cool stuff with it. Plus, if I were to make a fursuit kind of thing, I'd probably want to use like a welding headgear. Those stick to your head a little bit better. But anyway, like if you want to make like a bracelet or something, you can 3D scan your wrist and, you know, make sure that you're not putting crazy numbers in there. I'll have to kind of rack my brain for any other applications that would be useful for 3D scanning. I mean, obviously, if you are making a fursuit, the 3D scan of your own body would be amazing. I don't know how much of that exists in CAD though. I guess there are CAD fabric cutters, right? CNC fabric cutters. Let's actually hit play on the scan and see what I can get out of this orientation. We're gonna have troubles in some areas, but I think I can get enough of the area that we get our points in. It's just how noisy is it gonna be? And I was hoping that our scan would be clear enough that I would have the ability to design the sort of subtle contours of the terribly cut hole, but it's looking a little less like we're going to get good stuff out of this. Oh, maybe because of the reflection of my... So what if I come around here? I scan it this way. I'm running out of cable this way. Okay, I gotta go from a downward angle. Can I get an upward angle on it? Whoop. Well, now that's just confusing for me. I can't do an upward angle because I can't see the star field when I do that. Interesting. Oh my God, there's so many criteria. Insufficient markers, insufficient distance, insufficient this, that, the other thing. All right, let's see what we can get with the setup. I mean, the other thing I could do is just flatten it down and then we'd only get the top of it. We wouldn't get that the 3 dimensions of getting both sides of it. It's possible that we would get a little bit of the side. Let's see if that's any better. Let's see if that's any better before we put all of our ducks in this row. Let's start another row of ducks. No more blue tack. Dun, dun, dun. That is actually pretty good. It held it nicely. Let's see what that looks like. That is going to be so much more accurate. Oh yeah, that's going to be more accurate. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. It just catching the top of the plastic there is not going to be. This is where a bed scanner would do so much better. Like a normal document scanner would probably get this way better. We'll try this though. Oh, no. This song is just, I'm dooting. I got doots in my head. All this dooting. I mean, that's probably enough data. I would like to get sort of the edge of it though. So we're going to try and see if we can, yeah, that's looking better. That's looking good. Tracking lost. How dare you? All right, I mean, I think that might be enough. Let me swing around here. It's going to yell at me. See if we can't get a little bit down. Get the plastic on the edge of the up arrow key. Yeah, there we go. That's getting it a little bit. Can't get any lower because I'm out of wire. Okay, stop that. Stop it. Stop it right away. Complete the scan. All right, sweet. I think we got some good stuff there. That actually looks pretty decent. Now the question of how it's going to clean up all of the facets of that. I need to get back to my stool. My big ass got to sit down. Oh, there's continually hairs on this desk. What is going on? Am I shedding because it's summer? All right, so what do we get? We didn't get the underside, but we did get a bunch of dots in the right places. This is kind of the concern up here. There's like a little opening. And one thing that I could do is print it so that the clear side is facing up, but move it into the hole a little bit so that I can get a syringe in there with ultraviolet epoxy. So I can fill ultraviolet epoxy in the difference and have it all meet the top perfectly. And then I'll have a nice little window into the OLED screen. But this is pretty useful if we can get the geometry into the CAD program. It's funny because like my bad cut is excusable in its roughness. These we know are smooth. These should not have come in as rough as they are. Where did it go? Hello? What? Did we? Hello? Yeah. It must have like zoomed us in or something. All right, so we can clean it up. Hopefully it doesn't blow up the backside here. That's what I'm concerned with is this whole backside to the scan might shoot us in the foot. It's possible that maybe I should put it up on something, but I can't get under and around without the dots going away. It's like I need a three-dimensional dot booth or to use geometry and just very slowly move this around. Maybe that's the way to do it instead of using the dots. But the dots really like lock in your scan. They keep you from having these weird runaway things happen when geometry is detected wrong. All right, so how do I want to clean this up? Resolution, small as possible. Sensitivity is very, very sensitive. And that's it. Go. Don't sleep or hibernate. Remember that, kids. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Never sleep or hibernate. Well, the problem is you need to be able to see 4 markers at once, and there aren't that many good places for me to put markers on this thing. Let's see. So, like, this is the size of it, and so to get 4 markers visible, put one there, maybe like here, but it'll be folded over, and then it would look weird if it's visible from like different angles. Yeah, it's not, for something like as small as this, it's not that great. This would be, the best way to do this would be to put it on a flatbed scanner, I think. Like putting this on a flatbed scanner, and then you just get the picture of this, and then you can pull it into Fusion 360 and you can calibrate it. And calibration is just giving it a distance, and then it'll change the size of everything. Oh yeah, and it looks like so chat is frozen. So I have recached the chat, and now it'll be live again. Uh-oh, what did it do? Oh, it did weird stuff, huh? Why would you do stuff like this? Why would you do this? Wait, this is not usable anymore. No, that's going to totally mess it up. It seems like we would benefit from actually getting the back of this thing. So I need to devise how I can get a full 360 around it. And I guess that's standing it up. But maybe if we stand it up so that it's closer to the base, maybe we can get a better impression of what's there. So I'm gonna toss this one. We don't have enough good stuff on it. How do I delete? Yes. Oh, I can't even. Wait. Oh, new scan. There we go. Normal object size small feature, marker, accuracy high, disable flat base. All right, so let's reposition this thing. JPEG and TIFF import true to size and don't need to be calibrated. Well, oh, from a flatbed scanner. Oh, that's neat. That'd be nice. Maybe I should save them as TIFF. All right, let's hold on. I gotta refresh my chat over here. See this, the chat that's on screen doesn't like to refresh because it's pulling up like a cache. How do I refresh the cache on this? Google Lens, reading mode, QR code, none of this stuff is useful. Yeah, I wonder how I can do that. Just keep loading it until it loads the right thing. No, it's not going to happen. Maybe go up and hit enter in the bar. Still no. Oh wait, connection secure, cookies data, site settings, cookies and site data. No, it takes me to a setting page. About this page. Whoa. What the? About the source. Oh, weird. Okay, close that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so new messages are coming in through it, just normally. Currently trying to reassemble a DSLR zoom lens, and the helicoil is being really difficult. Anybody else doing anything that annoying? 3D scanning can be that annoying. Man, I love taking apart camera stuff. There's all the cool doodads inside. All right, so let's try to put this thing on the desk so that I can actually get a 360-degree view of the feature that we're trying to get. We need to focus in on the feature that we're trying to get. You do align 6 things at the same time without seeing. Oh man, I'm always fascinated by how to get those things apart. Even cheap camera lenses can be really, really fascinating. So if I do it like this, then potentially I can get all the way around it and we'll have all the features that we need to see. Except I can't get a bottom-up view of it this way. Also, it's falling over. Assuming this doesn't fall over, maybe I can get a decent scan of it. Let's bring it over here. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, like I can't view up into this chasm here. What I want to do is I want the scan to close. And this thing is it's falling over. It's listing. Okay, well, maybe I can try that. I am continually, marginally disappointed in the 3D scanner. It keeps kind of disappointing me. I put paint markings on the lens carrier and drilled a slight hole into the helicoil. Huh. Just like make a little dimple with the drill bit so that you can align everything again. I can't believe it needs that much alignment. I guess it's old. All right, let's try that. 3D scammer. I'm starting to feel that. Starting to feel that a little bit. I mean, it was pretty cool for scanning my face. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know if we'll be able to scan my holes and plug them. Like, because I can get a good scan of the top. I wish I could get a good scan of the top and then flip it. It probably could do that if it went by geometry, but when it goes by geometry, things often don't come through properly. And then I can't get a bottom-up view because then all of the markers won't be visible anymore and it'll lose itself. This might just be a matter of 3D modeling it. I might have to just 3D model my hole instead of scanning it. Things I go through to put my holes on the internet. Like if I have it hanging off of the edge of the table, maybe that's the way to go. Hold on. Okay, so reconfigure now, and let's instead... This computer is a trooper for handling 3 webcams at once. The only problem is if I scan it, I'm gonna have to go by geometry with this sort of setup. If I have this hanging off like that, and I don't have the flat base, now I can get around this and get a full scan of it. Same as if it was sticking up in the air, but the problem is I don't know if the program is gonna get confused or what. How do I go back to the scan settings? So, small, geometry, disable flat base, high quality. Ooh, it doesn't like this. That might just do it. The camera's getting warm. All right, let's try it. Back up a little bit. Starting to make some greebles. It's like when you flip like that, it just kind of loses itself. What about here-ish? You can do it. Come on. I have to return to the scanning where I was. Where was I? Let me help you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not good. I think I lost it. This is what happens when you use geometry. Oh boy. They really needed to add like a visible laser to this so that you could actually keep it aligned. Like if it was a little crosshair at the right distance. Okay, we're gonna pause this and take a look at what we scanned because this looks unusable. This is completely wrong. What a disappointment. I think we tried. Maybe we'll just have to bust out the calipers and do a good job on that. Probably have a jig. Yeah, they probably have a big, like, super duper factory setup for making the camera lens make sense. This doesn't look like my keyboard. I think we declare that a failure and I jump into Fusion 360 and we just measure the hole. maybe that's the way that we will do this because this is not looking too good. This 3D scan was supposed to be our sort of sanity check for the features of the hole, The problem is there's just not enough material for it. The scanner's a little bit crazy and moody, and my shop obviously isn't totally set up to do stuff like that. If I had like a booth that had the markers all over it and maybe like gray instead of black corrugated plastic, that might do a lot better for scanning. And maybe, you know, if I sprayed this with the foot spray or the chalk spray, it would show up a little better on the sort of the visual stuff for the scanner. But this thing should be using a point cloud of dots in order to get its scan. I don't know. We'll find projects for this thing in the future. It's just this is not really happy with what I'm doing. It would be cool to get that point cloud, though, in some kind of a software where I could move around whatever it's seeing, kind of like the Kinect used to do. Because that was the cool part about the Kinect, is that you could get like a different view of it. Oh, you can twist it by 90 degrees. Oh, and then there's no untwist. Wait a minute. How do I undo that? Oh, there it is. Okay. No, that's upside down. There you go. Rats. Okay, well, close the software and maybe never open it again. Why do you take so long to close? All right, so let's open up Fusion 360. It'll just be better if I just model this in CAD. It's unfortunately I can't just simply scan it and put it into Fusion. Nope. It's not going to work today. I wonder how I guess you need the CR scan application. There's not a thing in Fusion that facilitates that. Fusion's not happy with me. No, wait for it to respond. This computer is low on resources at the moment. Signing in, giving everyone your key. Sending emails to all of your friends. Come on, man. Let's go. Yeah, the computer is not happy with me. It auto restarted, and Chrome disabled a bunch of features that I rely on in order to kind of run my stream. So I had to kind of go into the deep Chrome settings consoles and undo it. There was a handy dandy Reddit thread from 4 days ago for people doing that. Apparently that's how a lot of Chrome users are getting by these days, but Google's war against sensible internet browsing in current year is still going on. And of course, Fusion has reset all of my view settings for the grid. Why does it regularly do that? How is it so good at... Oh, wait, what's going on? Get 30% off another one. That's all right, man. All right, we got an update. Let's update, and then I'll deal with the view settings. It shouldn't be super bright, crash your retina mode. Try to limit that stuff on the stream for you guys. Not for me. For me, I have a bright face light in my face. You know? My view of you guys is through this. So my pupils are fucking like my pupils are as puckered as they get. They're tiny because I have this giant light on my face. It makes my beautiful face shine brightly in stream, but it also means that typically I will opt in for just light mode stuff. But you guys watch in the middle of the night, and so I don't want to like destroy your energy bill or fight your retinas with my fists. So I try to put dark mode on stuff. How good are we at updating? My video is going to be a little squirrely. 8. Wait, did that just go from 12 to 8 back to 8? That went back to 8. Oh, you guys, it's behind you guys. One of the buttons that I want to put on the Stream Deck is one to flip chat to the other side, so I can just, you know, get you guys like out of the way to see something. I guess what I can do right now is just do that one. This one has a bit of a lag on it. Oh no, it's pretty fast. So yeah, updating Fusion is part of using the software, and it's not happening very quickly. This computer already sort of limited in its resources, is now being challenged to do what is typically a very normal thing, but struggling with now. Windows 10 support for Fusion 360 is going to eventually stop. I don't know what to do then, because, Windows 11 virtual machine, or try that stuff that'll get it working in Linux. I don't want to go to Windows 11. I don't like it. I don't like Windows 11. It's not terrible, but whatever. I guess I would probably get along just fine with Windows 11. It's the principle of the thing. We'll let them win. 35%, come on. All right, maybe we should get the light mode stuff out of here. So the environment that I typically use is called River Rubicon. That keeps things bright enough so that it's not totally messing with your sense of like what color a thing is. And it doesn't like, because some of the darker grids will make all the objects that you put onto the CAD program like dark. So to prevent that, River Rubicon's a pretty good one for preventing that. It gives you a nice dark workspace. The only thing that I can complain about is in Sketches, when you have unlocked down geometries, they will display in green, and it is hard to see green on this background. The light mode, the white background, is pretty damn good for all the color settings and stuff. But yeah, we use this to not destroy all of you guys. Like I couldn't see the number 1 on that. 46%. Hey, look at that. You can't see the number. They're still working on it. I'm sure in some of these updates we will get better dark mode. Could I squidge the putty on the hole and then scan the put? No. This CR scan is not what I expected. I have opinions. I don't know. I'm sort of still making a case because we've done a couple different projects with it. Scanning a person is acceptable detail. Scanning something like a keyboard is impossible. But what else, like the side of my car, what scale do they expect things to be in for your typical scans? Because I mean, like, we do doodads here, right? We make thingamabobs and whatchamacallits. So we're scanning stuff on like this scale, like handheld things. And I'll have to pull in the steering wheel and get a better scan of that soon. Now that we know a little bit more about the scanning. I don't know if I really even need the foot spray in order to... Oh, wait, no, we do have a good scan. I just need to learn the body forming features in Fusion. That would be this right here, where you can start with an enclosed geometry and then you add triangles and stuff to it by like painting them on or manipulating and shaping them. You can have them match numbers. I think that's the best thing for me to do, because then I can make sort of the curved airbag surface and I can have it fit that sort of flat geometry that we got from the 3D scan in 3 dimensions. There we go. Now stuff's happening. This would be a get a cup of coffee moment. Whoa, 67%. That's what's happening in my head. It's just non-stop circus music. We're waiting for Fusion 360 to update because I haven't opened Fusion 360 for a couple days on this computer, and so I would like to let it do its thing so that we're using the latest and greatest. That way, if I have any complaints, they are current complaints instead of something that they might have fixed. Encoding overloaded. We're dropping frames. It should be any minute now. It should finish up. Wait, why does it say? Have I only been live for 2? It's wow. Okay. Feels like it's later in the afternoon than it actually is. 77. We're getting there, folks. And so what we're going to do, because I'm fairly disappointed with the CR scan, I'm just going to get in there with calipers and measure the geometry that we're dealing with, measure the holes, and then I can make something that will hopefully get close to the cutout. The cutout is fairly weird. Let's get that on camera. Move this useless. It might be a decent webcam. Maybe I could use it as a webcam. Sort of an advanced infrared webcam. Oh, everybody here needs to move over. Move over, move over, get the computer out of the way. This right here. So I tried to make this the best cutout that I could do with the milling machine. It unfortunately had some areas where things went a little bit awry. That's a little long. This is a little chewy. I wonder if I should scan this too so I can actually place this thing. Oh God, it's so... don't look at the keyboard. Don't look at the filth on the keyboard. The screen. I need to place the screen. Oh God, everything is disgusting. Oh my goodness. I should probably get a toothbrush, clean that out. But yeah, this right here. This cutout is weird. I mean, I could practically just take a screenshot of it, to be fair. Hold on a minute. If I just grab... Gotta move the real keyboard in order to get the fake keyboard over here. It's pretty shadowy. Let's see if I can get rid of the shadows on it. If I hold it up off the table, I could potentially get that as a screenshot and use that to plan out this geometry. Let's clean this up right here. So just sharp blade. How am I going to do this? Seems like I've already done that to this part. And that's the best I'm going to do. I don't want to go too hard into the paint on this one because it'll like immediately cut the plastic and make a rough edge there. But again, I guess I can use 3D, not 3D, use ultraviolet epoxy around the perimeter. Just inject it in there very lightly. So, yeah, let's get like a shot of this. Let me just take the snipping tool from the start menu, SN. Oh, what happened? Everything's wrong. I have so much stuff going on this computer that it's hard to do basic stuff. Okay, so snipping tool, and then I'll put that, and then we'll just take a screenshot of it on OBS, and we'll use that like it's a 3D scan. I just need to get this up so that the shadows aren't behind it. Okay, so they get that. Cool, and that's going to be our helper. Look at that, that's 2D scanned into the program. So we'll use this, and maybe that'll couple with our measure dimensions, and we can get this like really, really close to fitting perfectly. The simplest solutions, man. You have something as complicated as a 3D scanner, and it turns out the thing to fix everything is just, yeah. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Oh, this thing didn't. My multiple chat windows are not helping me out. So we tried to use the CR scan in order to scan this hole in my keyboard. It did not work. So what we're going to do is use the calibrate function in Fusion 360 to take the image of the hole and move that into CAD. And then what I'm going to try to do is create something that'll snap in from the back. Not snap in, I'll probably end up gluing it, but I'll put it in from the back, and what that'll do is sit right on top of the screen so that right on above the OLED screen, it'll be frosted plastic. So you'll look in and you'll look through the plastic and you'll just see light frosted plastic. But when the LEDs turn on, they'll show through that plastic. So you don't really see the screen, you just see, just like a, I don't know, like a viewport. I think that'll look really cool, coupled with the rest of this. And it'll also keep all the nightmare garbage that's covering this keyboard from shit fucking my screen again. That screen is dead. Please update faster. We have work to do. 98. It's that those last few percentages that drag on for the length of the whole thing. It's like leveling up in I don't know, RuneScape, where the last couple levels are like double the amount of XP that you've collected so far. That wonderful little exponential curve of the leveling equation. That's how it feels sometimes with these updates. Really should scale things a little differently. There's all kinds of philosophies on how to do an update bar and how to get that to be like, you know, user-friendly and progress properly. And not annoy the crap out of people. You hold on to that blue tack. More useful than I thought. We used it to hold up parts of the plastic of the keyboard and it did okay. I guess eventually this stuff will get full of crap, but so far so good. I mean, the blue tack has lived up to its name and usefulness, and in fact, it should probably go with its fellow blue stuff on my desk. So just plop it right there. That's dust. That is purely dust. That's just all dust. I just picked up so much dust. Oh my God. Just all dust. Oh my God. Okay, you go there. Be better if I had like a drawer that I could put it in where it wouldn't get dust on it, but oh well. How are we doing? Have we updated software? I'm different from that pirate software guy. My screen name is Update Software. Get it? Because it, yeah. Did I mention that I worked for Blizzard? No, I never worked for Blizzard. We're stuck at 98. What's going on here? Come on. Please. 98. Oh my God, that's a sub. A Bridgewater. A bridge over troubled water. And that is completely unreadable. I need to fix that. That probably needs to pop up as one of these little diegetic windowy things. Maybe fly in from the side. I need to I need to work on that. I need to put that on a background that's readable when we've got stuff like this open. A Bridgewater saying for the 59-month sub, 59 is the 17th prime number. 17 is also prime, making 59 a super prime. And yet this isn't a prime sub. How's that fair? Listen, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, man. That's math. That's how math work. That's how math do. Bridgewater, thank you so much for 59 months and way more information than I thought you would be able to drum up on the number 59. That's kind of insane. Yeah, camera work is going to be kind of unique. Take on me style. Whoa. Come on. We've been stuck at 98%. So Fusion 360, if I were to complain about something during this hashtag ad, it would probably be that, oh, PC? There we go. It would probably be that this stuff is, updates are a little bit clunky for when I'm currently streaming. Just wait until September. 59 is the lower part of a twin prime. Oh my God. Nice 10 FPS. You shut up. You shut up. I'm doing the best I can. Stop antagonizing me. I gotta learn how to do these buttons on the Stream Deck. Part of this is, if you'll notice, this is me training myself on the new layout, doing all that kind of stuff, like going from this camera to the face cam, doing the joke, and then going back to whatever we were looking at before. The delay is affecting it pretty extensively though. My comedic scene switching is hindered by the Fusion 360 update. Check again. Probably still 98. Why are you like this? Yeah, whatever Fusion's doing in the background is taking up variable amounts of. And if I click away from Fusion, then the computer will, like, you know, switch it up and put different resources at different things. I just wish Fusion could finish, because when Fusion is running normally, everything is fine. The stream works, everybody's happy. But I had to do this update. I'm gonna get iced tea. We'll go to this one. Pouring iced tea in a thermal camera. Take one. Now I should probably look at a new thermal camera. I don't have the funds for it, but the thermal cameras that are coming out of China these days are really good. They kind of cracked that one. They cracked that one, and now you can get much higher FPS and much higher resolution. High resolution would be very nice. I would love to actually, and you know, we looked at this, doing a thermal microscope. The one channel that I think CyanoCat linked me to did a thermal, I think a microscope. They were using one of those Chinese products, those cheap thermal cameras, but they were able to make something that could see pretty close up. I would like to preserve the distance that this microscope is at, because I've got this huge operating theater that I can work in, but I would love it to be in a resolution that's similar to the microscope camera, similar to this camera here. That way we could see the circuit board as I'm soldering. I think that would be really, really cool. Up close. This camera does do up close, but you have to get up close. Like, the resolution is pretty good up close. It's a pinhole camera. Do you have the telescope? No, it's the thing about regular lenses on regular cameras is that they're made out of glass. Glass is a really good. Hold on. Come on, just let me. Stupid camera. Glass is a really good insulator. You can't really see anything beyond that. Optical stuff, not clear in thermals. So my glasses look like the coolest sunglasses dude in the world. Like, look at that. I'm super awesome. Look at my cool glasses. I'm a cool guy with cool glasses. But you can't see through the plastic. Thin plastic can sometimes transmit stuff. But if you've got like a plastic lens or a glass lens, it's not going to let the long wave infrared through. And that's, of course, the problem when you're trying to make something that... Okay, here we go. We can restart Fusion finally. Finally. How is this plastic, the lighthouse plastic? Oh yeah, it's totally opaque. Okay. We can see in this thing if we use the CR Scans infrared camera. I need to set up my VR again. It's been broken down for a little while. Where's my program? Oh, there it is. Loading modules into my nodules. So we got these new glasses. I am gonna spill a lot of liquid on my desk. Why do they taper down? Why do they taper down? That makes them stackable, but at the same time, this tiny little base on the bottom there holding all of this liquid up fills me with trepidation. I will reach for stuff on the desk and forget that there is a giant object sitting right here. To the degree where one of the people who was buying a lot of stuff for the channel bought a sippy cup that had a suction cup base, so you could smack it and it wouldn't fall over, and it would even adhere to the wood on this desk. But I decided not to use it because I don't use sippy cups. What's in the glass? That's my piss. It's just piss. It's half and half powdered mix. So it's half iced tea, half lemonade in a powdered mix. It's not great. It's like Crystal Light quality, which means it's really dry. It's really just exists to make sure that I don't desiccate during stream. All right, so getting this glass far away from myself and opening up the keyboard project. So, you know, I wouldn't have those little better than piss, I guess. So here we have, what is this? This is admin projects. Let's go. Yeah, I think it is an admin. I do need to put some effort into reorganizing these. We are looking for the QMK takeover, and I think that's under stream projects. Stream projects, code QMK takeover. So I've got all these things in here for the PCBs and stuff. I'm pretty sure I have a model of the screen itself. It appears not to be in this mechanical drawing, but this is the bevel file. Dmitry Koprianov. A great way to speed up keyboard projects is to spill liquid on current board. How do you think I got... How do you think, Dmitry, we got to doing this whole entire... what is that again? It's a Pico Pi running QMK. It's the whole reason we have the screen in the first place, is that I took over this keyboard because I spilled crap on it. This nasty ass keyboard. That is exactly what precipitated this entire project to begin with. I'm happy to report though, with the Pico Pi, when I spill stuff on the keyboard, it still works because the Pico Pi it's located further up on the keyboard where there's a little bit more space between the case and the keyboard, so that all that liquid flowing by to go to the bottom of the keyboard doesn't interact with the Pico Pi. And I think, don't quote me on this, I think the Pico Pi is a little less sensitive than the 2 microcontrollers that the keyboard originally deployed. Realize I'm late to the conversation here, but I'm rebuilding my main PC after my i9 149,000. I can't even keep up with these fucking pieces, like hardware names, man, decided to die on me. That's crazy that something like that would die. The reason that I water cool the stream computer is so that it could please last as long as possible, because I just don't have the money for a whole new computer. And if my stuff died, I would probably be getting a pretty subpar computer. It would probably do the job, but it would be a very annoying thing to have to deal with financially right now. So this is the screen. This is the screen file. Originally, I had this cut out, but with the SLA printer, the Goop printer, I can get away with stuff like this and actually have the light go through. Problem is, printing stuff that you've designed to be very kind of square on the SLA printer, not all that easy. The SLA printer is very accurate when you get it right, but if you try to do stuff that's like dimensionally perfect, it can kind of mess things up a little bit. We tried that with the laser thing, and I printed this like in a weird oblong, like it was like this on the bed. It was tilted forward and to the side, and it printed all pretty good, except that for some reason this kind of leans in just a little bit over here. I don't know what that's all about. So, you know, I'm still getting used to it. I mean, if you're doing like preview parts for engineering stuff and you can handle the nasty epoxy and, you know, get it clean properly and all that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yeah, this is going to be the shroud for the laser, and this is actually going to be watertight directly out of the box. I don't know if I'm going to want to reprint this. I might try again because that lean is a little bit annoying. It's like, see that? It's kind of like, I don't know. That might be fine. But putting a laser in this should be good, because then water will go in one end, around the jacket, and then back out. So for the screen, I'm going to try doing like tricksy stuff. I'm going to try to utilize the clearness of this stuff so that I can have text that shines through. Where's the other? Oh, this one's not going to help us out at all. Oh, it is. Look at that. So if we had something shining through and we had 2 layers of the frosted plastic, if I keep it small like I did here, you would actually be able to see through that. That would be pretty cool. This is the previous design, but I mean, the dimples on it make it a little bit annoying. So what I'd like to do is get the canvas in here so that we have a reference for the that hole. So what I need to do, Windows 10 will no longer be supported October 14th, 2025. That's crazy. I don't want to let Fusion 360 tell me to upgrade my OS. That's just crazy. I guess they have limited resources in supporting operating systems, but I really would appreciate if Fusion would figure out releasing on Linux. So I'm going to save this onto my desktop. This is a screen capture from the microscope, and this is just the keyboard bevel. The keyboard bevel. Save. Close that. Okay, so in Fusion, we can insert a canvas. I can insert a canvas on a plane, on a train. If I have this on my laptop, I could do CAD anywhere. No, I insert it on a plane, or I don't know. I don't want it to depend on another object, but we do know where this thing fits in, and it's that plane is the outside of the or is that that's just on 0, 0, isn't it? Okay, that's convenient. Okay, so we'll put that on 0, 0 then. We'll just put it on origin. Bring that in, bring that out, and then we're going to insert a canvas. Insert canvas. And from my computer, that's not the right thing. That's the face. That's all the textures of my face. It's a horrifying document. Keyboard bevel. There it is. And we'll put it there. And then this is where it's going to get challenging, because now I can use these tools to kind of coax it into the proper dimensions, and then we can calibrate it after that. I just don't want to stretch it at all. So let's go for a orthographic view. Let's actually bring that. There we go. It's a little bit easier to understand. Cooling had nothing to do with the dyeing. You say that, but well, I don't know what your circumstances are. You might have stabbed it with a knife. But let's see, this is in the right orientation right now. Like subtly underneath the surface of the silicon, you have the gold bonding wires, and it's possible that heat cycling led to its untimely death. I'm not saying it did, or that I know more than you do in any sort of sense. But the subtle things that kind of kill a chip often have to do with heat cycling. Sorry, I'm like concentrating on 3 things at once. How do I get that to stop snapping? The angle tool. We'll use the calibration thing to measure it in just a minute. It's like the snap is very annoying when you're doing stuff like this. Okay, -1. -1, ballparking it, that kind of gets it. So that, well, the upper thing is not straight. Okay, so my square is off, unless that is a feature of the picture. Hold on, move this up. Pretty much want this top edge here to be flat, but I don't want to design the thing crooked. So if I go from here, I'm looking at the grid in the background. Oh, oops. Yeah, like, okay, so here and here, that matches. Down here, pretty spot on. But then when I look at the edge, here, this top edge drifts down. So my square is off. I have that square in our current grid. We need wiggle room with all this stuff. CPU degradation problem due to voltage issues that was discovered with 13th and 14th generation Intel processors. Killed it, just sudden repeated blue screens on boot and being completely unable to reliably start the machine. Damn. That is a very specific problem. That's very interesting. Okay, so that's as good as I'm going to get that. In terms of the positioning here, I don't have the screen in there, but it seems that the pins are to the left there. So the opening over here, that is just about in position. Double check that. I got to see where the pins... I probably should have taken a screenshot with the pins actually on it. So like this screen is shoved all the way up to the edge and the pins are all the way on the left. Okay, so that's pretty much where we have it right now. Let's move that down just a little bit. It's like that. You see why it didn't fit. Unless I had the scaling wrong. Oh yeah, I scaled it. Wait, I scaled it to the inside, not the outside. So we were actually a little larger than this. It's got to fit to that, to these lines here. This one and this one. Makes a little bit more sense. We'll double check, of course, with the calipers, but I'm just making sure that this is lining up as is. Okay, so that'll be our initial scale. Anything we do to this will be after this step, but this is sort of how things fit together. With the keypad, oh, wait, that's the wrong way. No! No, I gotta flip it 180. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so that goes all the way over there, like so. This goes up a little bit. That. All right, that is approximately where this thing should fit. Obviously, we are going through a camera lens too, so there's a little bit of wiggle going on there. So let's click OK on that, and let's actually get some measurements now. They've been fighting it for the past 9 months. They're still issuing microcode updates to squash issues that the first few rounds of updates handle. That is a very complicated problem. The performance throttling microcode update fixing. So they're chasing down all the little things going wrong. That is a nightmare. Right, so now looking down at it, the pins are on the left. That's this little structure here is designed to get around the pins. And this thing is properly placed. The problem I have is that when I 3D printed it, it didn't fit. So something's still up with my measurements. So let's get a better measurement here and actually figure out what the size of our hole is. So if I just casually measure it without bending it, I get 13 millimeters. It's almost as if I made this very specifically to a size. 13 millimeters, top to bottom. So now I can actually go and calibrate this. So on the canvas thing over here, canvases, keyboard bevel, I can hit calibrate. Let's unview the object that's in the way, and let's calibrate this here. And now from using the grid lines to help me out, from here to here, 13.043. That's actually pretty darn accurate to what's actually there. That's pretty good. I actually don't think I need to calibrate this at all. Let's check our width really quick. Yeah, it sounds like it's a huge mess. You know, a little tiny subtle issue with everything in your processor that's actually destroying hardware. Ooh, that's a nightmare. 39.8. Oh, you guys can't. I keep assuming that I have the ARM camera on in here. I don't know a way to turn it on. That's not the right one. 39.8. Yeah, just by virtue of operating, it kills itself. Yikes. Now we'll use calibrate. Calibrate. Oh, it wants me to click. So I'll use the red line. Yeah, I'll use the red line. Go from here to here. 40.8 and we're 39.8. I think that's good. I think we've got a good scale on here just by naturally putting this thing in. I don't know. I could try to adjust it further, but I think this is as good as we're going to get. And we're going to use this as our initial sketch plane for the piece of plastic that I want to make. So let's figure out what some of the things are that we would like to put into this. I mean, I can go from the one that's previously on there, but this thing looks like it fits, but it doesn't. Where is that? That's here. It looks like it fits perfectly, but it just does not. Huh. I think it's just because some of this stuff gets in the way. If we look at that and then we go to an orthographic view, that should be. What if I unview this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Got to keep it ortho. Stuff like that, but it wasn't really, the height of the thing wasn't fitting. When I printed it. It got so bad that I couldn't even get the Windows 11 install ISO running without blue screens. So like the installer ISO or... Eesh. I think it's time to call it quits with that processor then. No point in following it. Now, should I try to contour directly to the cut? We don't have a three-dimensional view of the cut. That's what I was really hoping to get out of the scanner. It's asking a lot of the scanner to do that, but it seems like this part should fit. It doesn't. My measurements are like a tiny, tiny bit different than what we have in here, and I think it's probably near enough as makes no difference, but I did want to follow the contours of the cut more closely with our sketch. And the height I already have determined. It's already in the thing. So let's do a new sketch. New sketch. On origin, just on the same plane. Did that pull me into the other sketch, or did it just make it visible? Just made it visible. Okay, so we've got our sketch here, and I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the line here. It's not, see, the thing is, like, it's not really going to be dictated by numbers this time. It's just going to be by the geometry of this. And I could fit like a square to it, but I think I'd rather try try to follow the geometry with weird, all kinds of weird little things. And Fusion doesn't like that sort of thing. It really is going to want me to lock it down to this and that and the other thing. Like, okay, so that's pretty respectably a straight line. This one isn't. Yeah, this is not a drawing program, it's a CAD program, so it's trying to lock me down to all this different geometry stuff. It's pretty funny. Oh, I could do it from this angle, from there, no, just put a line there. Points, dimensions, constraints, projected geometries, there we go. Nope. Nope. Oh, now it's just simply kicking me out of the line tool. It doesn't trust me anymore. Oh, now I don't have anything. It just kicked me out of the tool. Angles, profiles, nothing. I want nothing. Don't stop constraining it, you bastards. These snaps are really getting annoying. Let's just look at, okay. Trying to turn off the features so it doesn't snap around like this. I don't think I can do it. Create arc. No, not what I need. Yeah, I'm just going to trace it because it's funny. Go there to... Yeah, actually, I think that's a little closer in, so I'll fix this. Oops, we need points back. It does not give you control of the third point after you're done using the tool, huh? Need to push it out a little bit. It's not letting me do that. Interesting. All right, well, let's bring it in here then. Go around like this. So it won't match the curve there, but I think I can make up for that by using ultraviolet epoxy. It should follow the profile of the milling tool, but whatever. Yeah, and like some of this stuff is 3D. Like it's the plastic is going in or out and I can't really see what it's doing. So I'm just going to kind of like hug it and see if that works. Usually hug it out. I know, it keeps grabbing the pen and trying to take over and it's like, stop it. Stop it. Ah, you bastard. What did it just do there? Oh my God. So what Fusion is doing is it's trying to constrain the changes based on like, it'll lock things to like horizontal and vertical just so that your drawing is like fully locked down. So if you click and drag, it shouldn't move anywhere. This is the complete antithesis of how Fusion normally does things by free drawing all these lines and stuff. Maybe I could use the forming tool with some extra triangles to try to like massage something out of this. I could try to do that, but yeah, this is just not what Fusion was meant to do. It's fun to try though. It's fun and funny. This should definitely be more circular. and tangential. So let's constrain that on the tangents. There we go. How creative do I want to get in here? Because that seems to go like that, but then there's something there. So if I just take it as a flat there, it seems to not follow it properly. You take it to there. And going over the flat thing, I don't think that's a good idea, but let's see what it is. What is that? That's the wrong one. It's just like a little hair of plastic. So if I just kind of follow the dip and not pay attention to that little hair of plastic, I might be able to get there. That's gonna, that little outcropping there is gonna, okay, so I think, yeah, we're on good, we're in good shape. I can just ignore that and just come up here to where things get a little bit rough. The program is desperate for something that can help lock it down. I mean, the other thing that I could do is just put the square in here so that the square fits, and then let the thermal, or let the ultraviolet epoxy make up for the weird geometry. So I'm hiccuping here. I had a poke bowl for lunch. It was pretty good. There were like no carbs in it. I'm thinking maybe I want to let ultraviolet epoxy take up the difference between these two. Like, what the hell is this? What is this? What? But I've already done that. I've already done that project. That's sitting in the background here. That's what this is. This is making a square that can fit within the dimensions that I measured. And I could potentially just narrow this down a little bit and that would be fine and functional. Make a lip on the other side instead of the one up top. I think it'd be more fun to have a wacky line on the thing that fits in perfectly. But I thought I'd be able to 3D scan it too. That was the big takeaway, is that the 3D scanner is useless. I have not had a good luck with the 3D scanner, and I do not know what I should be using it for. What I should be using it on. We did a pretty good job with the safety glasses, though, with that 3D scanner. It did a pretty good job there. I think I want one of the polylons. What kind of line is that again? It's a... Is that the... Oh, spline. There we go. Fit point spline. Oh, wait, was that a control point spline? Control point spline. From here to here. What it? Huh? What? Huh? No. Create spline. Control spline. You. Right there. And then you. No. God damn it. How to spline? Face scan was worth it. That was some pretty cursed stuff. I like that a lot. Okay, so fit point spline and take it down to here. And then you, we're not really going to be able to do that. Hold on a minute. Whoa. Oh yeah, nothing is locked down. Actually, that might be fine. I made its little tumor. It doesn't fit quite exactly. Did I lock the wrong thing? Yeah. Why is this circle coming in here? The green circle of doom. There we we go. This is more like it. Weird kind of tumor. Neat. That looks terrible. I love it. I want to try and see if this gets it like real close. So, going from that completely and utterly random thing. Now, if anything happens to this file, these unbound line segments and stuff, Fusion might have to just make it up. And so it might completely blow up if anything happens to this file. Like if there's a long timeline and I come back to something way later on, it can create some really weird, truly very cursed stuff can happen to your files. So now that sketch is loaded up with cringe. Can I not highlight it at all? What's going on here? Does it not? It doesn't recognize it as closed. Where's the opening then? Gotta just look for stuff that has like double dot points on it. Oh, there we go. Profile wasn't selected as selectable. Okay, so we got that sketch, and now I've got the profile that I can highlight. I think. Why can't I select that? Huh. I'm looking to extrude, but it's not letting me select the thing. Oh, because of this. Okay, my bad. Okay, so where's the rest of the stuff? So we're going up, and the distance that I have to go to get to the screen. Oops. Is this right here. So 2 millimeters to get to the screen, and then the thickness of my plastic is what? It's actually kind of difficult to measure. How can I do that? Let's see. Put it flat on the desk. Is that going to go flat enough? No. It does not go flat enough on the desk because it is a very subtle curve. Very subtle curve to the keyboard. So this is not sitting flat down on the desk. So I guess what I can do is get a small object. That's going to stick into the small object, put it over the screen, and then measure down from the front. Now, I could give it the subtle curve, but I think it's so subtle that even if I do this straight back and forth, it won't really show up. 3.3. They're really 3 millimeters thick, huh? So the screen does stick into this. Yeah, 3 millimeters. Feels like it's... No, that's pretty flat. Pretty flat 3 millimeter then. Okay, so that is 3 millimeters of plastic. Really? That seems like it's a lot. I don't know. Is there a lip on this? No. No, it's 3 millimeters. Okay. So 3 millimeters of plastic, and then I need another lip because I'm not just putting something that'll float in the middle of this. I want it to clip on, not clip on, but I mean, I want that overhang on either end so that I have something to stop it from flying through. It's out of my way. And I don't really have any distance on the top. I need to have something there, though. Ooh, that's like nothing. Plus, this has a rounded edge from the mold. Interesting. Yeah, so that's like, I guess I'm going to be using like 0.2 of a millimeter and then I can epoxy the rest of it. So that's going to stick up and down 0.2 of a millimeter, and then it'll come out by like 4 to 5, probably 5 millimeters on either side of the hole. Okay, so let's go back to Fusion. This is a very easy thing to design. It's a very easy thing to design, but it's fun to try to make it fit perfectly. So that's 2 millimeter, and then somehow at 3 millimeters, I will need it to, oh, how's that gonna work? How's that gonna work? As I have it right now, I don't see any other solution than what I've already got, but I would like to make sort of an upper piece to this thing that would clip it in. But as it is right now, I could simply fill in this space and just go with what I've already got and sort of reduce the height of it just a little bit over here so that it fits in. I want to have like the contour piece be flat, so it'll be like a shiny section of the flat stuff. Like the rough stuff will have just a shiny section, and then you'll be able to view into it, and the letters will light up at the bottom. I like that idea, and I kind of want to keep it going. I don't want to have a bevel sitting up outside of things. So if I do that, then I need to see how much room I have on either end of the screen, because it needs to go down around the screen. It needs to come all the way, like hugging it. There is no room. There's, simply put, there is no room. I got the screen as high as I could so that the pins would fit. It seems like if I print this in 2 millimeter, I am going to have to attach it to the screen and not the keyboard. But I would have liked it to actually clip on, you know, like have a little overhang in the rear so that I could have it be part of this piece of plastic, not part of the screen, because that puts weird requirements on, or weird fitment issues. I don't think I can lower the screen. The reason the screen is in the way it is because I wanted to have a connector on it, because if you notice, the screen is dead. Actually, you can't notice that because I'm not powering up the keyboard, but the screen is dead. I don't know what killed it. Probably me. I probably pressed on it wrong or something. But I can put a new screen in there, and I can change the connector, and it'll work again. So that's why I have to have the connector. I minimized the pin connector to be as small as I can make it, while still being a 0.1 inch. Part of the keyboard put itself back together, and I was trying to pull it open so you could see, but I guess I'll just describe it. Yeah, I don't love this case, by the way. I would like to remake this case if I ever get my CNC project underway. I think one of the things that I'd like to do is buy some burl wood and cut a keyboard case in 2 parts that pretty much resembles this, only out of wood, and then I would have rare earth magnets holding it together. So I can just rip the keys out, rip all the hardware out of it at a moment's notice. So what if I made it 2 millimeters, glued it in? No, because the UV epoxy doesn't hold stuff that well. I was thinking, what if I just glue it in? But if it's in UV epoxy, what I'll do is I'll push on it and it'll fly out. It'll blow out of its location. I mean, if I use like the 0.2 millimeter on either end to try to make like a lip around the whole thing, I don't got a lot of options here. I guess we have to do it with the bevel. And I'll have to get it to print right, because then that'll be a whole shiny section and it'll be frosted underneath. That's just a little unsubtle, isn't it? The top row blood spills. That's not my blood. It's disgusting. The keyboard is nasty. It needs to be cleaned. That's why I'm not showing it off too much with the bevel removed. I mean, like, if I lower it a little bit, if I lower it just a tiny bit, I could potentially fit the whole thing in. How much lowering do I got? That's more stuff that I have to print. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. I still have to watch that thing that Ciano linked about bit music, bit tunes, and why they're so pleasant. I'm fascinated by it. It would be kind of neat if I cut like a bevel in this and then rely on that. No. You guys don't want to look at this up close. I'm not going to let you look at it up close. Yeah, so the reason this is at the height that it's at is because of the thickness of the foam that I used to glue it in. And looks like I used double-sided tape on the screen. So that'll move nice and easy. But the pins on the side of the screen there are not easy. If I did a right angle, I could potentially lower it using right angle pins. Lower it by like 1 millimeter, and then I do right angles from here. Not directly off of that, but I mean, I guess if I solder the connector in sideways, that would allow me to lower it. Yeah, I guess that could work. I could make that work. So we're going to lower it by 1 millimeter, which means new parts for everybody. That means this over here, this piece, the little stand, not that. The block. Let's see. Somewhere in here I did this geometry. Although maybe we'll just do it from here. This is bad timeline management. Oh dear God, what happened there? Wait, how is that even, what? Huh? Why? Wait, why? Why is that ever so subtly angled? What does it mean? What does it all mean? Oh, this is a curved surface. I have it at an angle. I see. I have this at a slight angle because the angle of the circuit board versus the front thing is different. Oh no. Okay, so where do I make the height of that thing? Draft. There we go. So 7.3. Nobody was harmed. Good, good, good. So that means we need 1 extra millimeter out of the top piece. And so we can take our accursed shape. Why will you not let me select that any longer? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I see. Oh, that's why. I'm smart. Okay, so take this and we'll go -3. That seems closer than things were before. Oh, well, that's because we moved it. Yeah, we moved the whole thing down. That's right. Right. And then we need from the other one, we need our pinhole. So let's go to this sketch and let's take this pinhole because this worked out before too. Although I could lower the pins to be no higher than the screen. The pins are no higher than the screen itself. Wait a sec, I don't need them at all. I don't need the pinholes. I'm better than this. I'll probably have to recalibrate the height. But, and then on the inside, I need just a subtle bevel that I can put on the outside of this. It's still going to be tough to print on the printer. It's going to be a little bit difficult to print. I don't know how the support structure will work for the overhangs, because I want this surface to be smooth, and then this one will be rough. And that way the rough surface gets as close to the text as possible while still protecting from dust and all that stuff. Let's go back into Sketch 2 and make that bevel. I don't think rectangle from the center is going to work here. Let's try. Still can't find the square tool. I don't know where that is. Yeah, that's gonna kill it. Just take an informed length here. So 18 to there, and then 5 to there. I should probably be doing this with a box. Huh? Well, it's all right. That's not really in the center, so we'll just take it as we go. So this then, what, 88.7 degrees. 6.3, so go 6 up, and then what is that? 2 millimeter. No, we're gonna go like 0.8. See, that doesn't quite get me what I wanted. Okay, so 6.2. Nope, 6.4, 6.5. Yeah, and then I want a 0.2 lip on the upstairs here, so 0.2. Is that even going to make it? I don't know. Judging by this, I mean, this is, well, it's got that curve there, but it was 0.75. So maybe we can get away with a full 0.5 millimeter there. That's not a lot. This is like, that's like 1 millimeter, it looks like. But we definitely didn't, I didn't measure a millimeter. Was it on the other side maybe that we didn't have a millimeter? I think so. All things considered, I shouldn't be coming out from the center on this. So 6.5. And then 0.2. Yeah, so, okay, that should be 0.5. I want this lip here because otherwise it won't seat properly and things get kind of annoying. What's up, Techman Dragon? It's morning. Oh, geez. Time zones are weird. How do I do this? This is not the best way to do this. I am creating a whole bunch of construction line dirt that I really shouldn't be. It's just very confusing. So 23. And then this is going to be 5. So coming in from the center makes it all weird, but if I do point-to-point construction cubes there, then that'll give me my corners for the bevel that's going to go under the keyboard that nobody will see. So I don't have to be fancy with it. Did that lock in? I think that locked in. Yeah, nobody's moving. And then finally, a non-construction square around the whole business. And then that's the bevel. It is insane, and it's not organic at all. It is based on my incredibly precise cutout of the plastic. We put the plastic in the middle, and I didn't support it in any of the proper ways. It really would have been good for me to put like a wood block underneath it so that we could clamp it down to that wood block. But instead, in clamping it, all the geometries changed and stuff. And so I was trying to make a perfect square hole, and I was like, I've only got one chance, and I need to make this look really good. So naturally, I fucked it up completely, and you get these wonderful, weird lines on this whole thing. So I'm trying to fit it very closely so that when I 3D print this, I will be able to insert it into the hole and it will actually like fit very, very tightly and look like it's, you know, part of the thing. I won't have the texture on it, but it'll at least be sort of like a comedy hole that we can all laugh at later. Okay, finish the sketch. So now I've got this thing, crayon drawn. Okay, so we got that, and then now I need to actually take everything and I need to extrude. Oh wait, what distance now inside? That's an interesting problem. Hold on a second. So the 3 millimeters is now meeting up with the screen. I need this to go down even further then. So down from its original dimensions. I'm burying the lead here. By how much? 1 millimeter is asking a lot. I can make it work, but it's asking a lot. Because the screen will now be even further down into the keyboard. I liked it kind of up near the surface. It was nice when it was like that, but I don't have a 3D model for the screen either. If I had a 3D model for the screen, I could maybe have it punch in, but there's not a lot of material around there for mounting. So let's just, yeah, let's move it down a little bit more. 0.5 millimeter? 0.5 millimeter should be enough. 7.3 minus, no, 0.3 minus 0.5. Oh, plus 0.5. So now we have a 0.5 millimeter on the back end. And so to the thingy over here, I can now add a 0.5 millimeter. So extrude this and this. Start is going to be, and the controls all the way over there. I should have it so that I can flip you guys. I'll work on that at some point. Having us all the way over in the corner. Okay, extrude. And we're going to start from profile plane here. And I'm also, oh, profiles 1 and then the one around it. No, I did it all wrong. E again. Extrude, and we're extruding this and this. And we're going to start from an object, which is this. We're going to go 0.5. Negative 0.5. Why did I make my coordinates like this? Now, do I need to do anything fancy? If this is printing above the bed, it's going to be all kinds of weird. It's going to be all kinds of weird. The bed is supposed to be on this surface here, on the outside of everything, so that it's smooth. And we measured a whopping 3 millimeters. We had to drop the screen down by 1 millimeter and then again 0.5 so that I could even have this lip here in the first place. And this is supposed to be a frosted surface so that the screen looks cool. And I'll have to reprint this block because this block actually angles the screen just a little bit so that it fits the profile of the keyboard. What a weird project. All right, so that's as far as I can go with this. This is a very cursed item. Very cursed item. It's very strangely shaped and there's just a lot of weird stuff going on within it. But with any luck, it will fit the hole perfectly. And I'll be able to have it. We used the amazingly complicated process of two-dimensionally scanning it with a microscope. I basically just took a picture of the hole. Yeah. Took a picture of the hole and that was that. What's up, Last Miles? How you doing? So I didn't need this at all. This little thing to sort of locate the thing higher. I'm going to have to doctor the screen pretty extensively though. I'm going to have to add a low profile sort of right angle plug. Not really right angle. It's going to have to be at an angle so that this can drop down further. And then I'm going to have to put a piece of Kapton tape over the pins. I'm going to desolder the pins, put a piece of Kapton tape over it, and then resolder them with the angle thing on there so that none of these pin things get into... Well, actually, we're resting on the very front of the screen, so maybe I could just take a file and file down the pins so that they don't interfere with the fit of the screen. And then we'll have a sunken screen that is protected from all of the detritus that I sort of erupt into the keyboard. This is a nasty screen. It's disgusting. All right, so that's all I got. And the next part of this is to spend 2 hours at a time printing these things, getting the print goop all over myself, and reevaluating basically every facet of my life leading up to this project. I don't know if 0.5 millimeter lip is going to be good. I don't know if it's going to come through on the goop printer at all. And I also don't know if I'll want to pull in the edges so that I've got a square. I may want to do that depending on what the look of the whole thing is. I think it'll have a really neat look to it, but I heard there would be Burn the Subs. Burn the Subs work is ongoing and continual, and I've got the shroud for the laser right here. While I had the clear goop going in the printer, I figured we'd do some clear goop projects. The other clear goop project I have is actually, I don't know if we'll work on this clear goop project, but this little guy right here. I would love to have working headlights in this thing. This is the RC car project from yesteryear. Plan for the year 2027. I'm one guy. I can do what I can do to get the project forward and moving. We are going to work on Burn the Subs. We need a bunch of stuff still done to it, and so I'll get there. I'll get there. Don't you worry. We're going to work on Burn the Subs. The RC car project, I would really like to utilize these magnetic pin connectors to do like headlights and taillights. I think that would be super duper awesome. Because I can design the shell with this stuff cut out, and then I can make little light guides that'll go in these locations. And I could even have on the controller, I could have the reverse lights and all the fun stuff. And we could see if we could put like a really powerful LED on some of these. I think that would be a really cool thing for us to design. I mean, you know, I could just drill it out and put an LED in there, but I'd rather have like an actual like LED core, and maybe, I don't know, functional headlights are probably not. You could make them functional, but this thing has all kinds of lights in front. Making them just turn on would be enough, because it's already a pretty cool looking car. I can't believe the mirrors have survived this long. This is the not blown up body that I took a paint marker to. I have an airbrush now, so maybe we could airbrush one of these sometime. Why aren't you clicking on? It should, one of them is horizontal and the other's vertical, and that sort of holds the top on. But like with the goop printer, I would also like to separate the glass from the body, because it's really cool to have just sort of frosted light that you can see inside. So you can see the LEDs and stuff inside of the cab, and it looks a little bit more like a car, you know? Those are all future projects. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to be able to do that stuff. And this thing is distinctly low poly, so I'm not using the Fusion 360 features with the, what is it? The forming tools. Forming tools in Fusion are very powerful. You can do a lot of really cool stuff. Oh yeah, that's actually a tool you click on, not drag. I think I just got rid of the create form. Uh-oh, how do I fix you? Box, go back up. Oh, you can arrange these things, but how do I get the box tool back on the toolbar? Reset the toolbar. There we go. Reset panel customization. You can do it with symmetry too, so you can actually go through the steps and like really form your car body. It's a very powerful tool. I really need to learn how to use it. Anyway, that's sort of a continuation of the keyboard project. We did our little plastic insert. Tried to 3D scan it. That didn't work at all. It kind of almost worked, but it wanted to do this post-processing on the 3D object that just ruined it. It just blew it up into a billion pieces and got rid of all of the clarity and the precision that we wanted out of our 3D scanner. The 3D scanner I wanted to pull in as a reference, but you have to get 180 degrees around the object, and the keyboard is a little bit too small. Cats love these things or hate them. I don't know if the dogs would chase these. What I really want to do with the car body will make it so extensive and fragile. And part of the car body is that it's funny because I can blow it up, right? Like I crashed this thing into the curb and it cracks in half. And then I just hit print and I've got another one in like 4 hours. So doing like an insert for the LEDs in the front, doing an insert for LEDs in the back, doing an insert for the glass, it'll still explode and it'll represent hundreds of hours of printing when it does. Or I could print it in clear and then paint it, and it'll still have all the clear elements. I don't know. But we haven't really gotten around to that. Oh, that was a boom leg shot. How you doing? Oh, I already said hi like hours ago. That was a like 7 hour ago message, huh? All right. Well, anyway, I'm done. I'm done. We just did the normal thing in Fusion. Oh my God, my face camera. We just did the normal thing in Fusion where you take a picture and you trace it using calibrations. Same with NASCAR. And it's a little different, me putting around with a little RC car in the backyard versus a NASCAR team that has spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the car and has a whole paddock full of engineers and mechanics ready to go to fix everything. Okay, so let's check to see. Gunhead's probably still live, isn't he? Open up my own Twitch. Seems a little weird. He is. Okay, let's raid into Flatulent Gonad. He's currently on a quest for some shrubberies. The glasses and the 3D print? Yeah, so we went over that earlier, and I'll show you right now. I can show you right now. So I put clear goop in the goop printer, and we managed to reverse engineer that front plate and then bend it back. And I was playing with the distance between the glasses and the actual frames. So this bridge right here. Here, let's get a bit more focused on this, and I'll just go over this before I end. I feel like it's hard to focus on this car. It's weird. I played with the see that, and then that's out of focus. I played with the distance between the bridge and the glasses holder, and I had some pretty good results. Problem is, when you space it out like that, it no longer fits properly anymore. It actually moves the glasses forward on your nose. This is the one where I had the best optics. The reason why I was moving it like that is because the insert, this is the closest insert, and it's the one that I'm currently using. It is, you can see as I unbend the actual glasses, it's pushing on the glasses and moving them just a little bit. And when it does that, the prescription, the pupillary distance changes. So I don't know what I can do to fix that. Can we say hi to Willow before you go? She's barking at the door right now, and she does not like to come downstairs while I'm streaming. I don't know what it is with her, but there are pictures of her on the Discord as always. So, but yeah, so the glasses I got to fit in a pretty good position, right? I don't think I really need to move them up or down. Although, does that fix it if I move them up just a little bit? There's all kinds of smudges on it, so I can't really see. If I move them up a millimeter, that might actually fix the problems that I'm having. I might do that. I might move them up 1 millimeter, which means just raising this like nose bridge piece a little bit. I think I can do that, maybe without destroying it. But like these fit now on my giant nose, right? And there's no gap back here. This is nice and close. But I can only view stuff in focus if I view it like a lizard, if I tilt my head just a little bit. Yeah, see, like I can't read the text on the monitor over there unless I move just over a little bit. You need to grind new lenses with the reflective coating and just fabricate the whole 9 yards. No. Yeah. I mean, potentially what you could do is move the pupillary distance inwards a little bit, but it's a crapshoot whether or not you get it right. But if I, hold on a second. No, this is the right height. See, it completely fixes it if I, here, let's go back to this one. So it's pressing in on the glasses all the way out here. So if I unbend these a little bit, it straightens them out. Quite a bit, actually. But that would mean it wouldn't hug my head. And that would mean I need to alter this lens, because this lens is the one that dictates the contour. I mean, everything is contoured the same way. It's just, this is the one that's going to fight the most for the shape. So if I put them like under extreme heat and I just do that, I wonder if I could permanently deform the lens. The other thing would be like, have them shave it a little closer. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they're capable of doing that. And so I'm wondering what the size of the other threaded inserts are. These do a good job of covering my field of vision though, and I like how there's no border on them. So I don't know if I'm going to just declare it and get into the habit of tilting my head a little bit to look at things when I'm wearing these, or if I should move them up slightly, if that would do it. Yeah, so I do not know where to go with these. I'm going to declare this project is done. The safety glasses look like crap when I'm wearing them. It's fine though. They'll keep my eyes safe and I don't have like a huge, gap in the side there for the peripheral vision. I can kind of see text pretty okay, but snazzy glasses, even if you look like a reptile, you need to look at stuff like a reptile. Yeah, the only thing that I'm missing is my nearsightedness. I actually got used to my nearsightedness, being able to see stuff really up close to my face. But I give it up when I put on these things. Nearsightedness might be more of an advantage when I'm working with dangerous power tools up close. So I got a lot of soul searching to do for this. The solutions could also be just put on contacts. I don't have contacts though. I think that's what most people do, is they probably just get contacts. But I saw a project and I went for it. And I kind of succeeded, not really. There's a lesson to be learned. What's up, Rosswald? We're gonna raid Flatulent Gonad. Let's go raid Flatulent Gonad. Raid Flatulent Gonad. Oh, I didn't do the end card, but I'm gonna be back on Thursday. You guys can find my my Discord and stuff. Well, that was the first time chat. What's up, Rosswald? Well, this information's gonna be wrong, but I'll put it up on screen anyway. It's gonna say the next stream is four hours ago. I'm not connected to chat. What's going on? Let's do it in this window. There we go. Maybe it's broken. Nightbot is broken, huh? Something's going on. Something weird is going on. I think Twitch is bugged. Something. All right. Well, on that cursed note, let's raid Flatulent Gonad. Probably playing My Summer Car. I will be back on Thursday. Oh, there it is. There it is. So if you want to join the Discord, there's the stuff. You gotta like write it down by hand if you're not in the Twitch chat. Raid initiated. Yeah, who would have thought that Twitch would have some problem with something? All right, I'll catch you guys on Thursday. Wednesday, hopefully I'll be able to print this thing out and see whether or not it fits. Until then, let's go check out Flatulent Gonad. And then I need to stop all these feeds.